Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Aegis Platinum League. We're back for another week of exciting action. This week, we have got for you Renge Tea Time, and they're going to be taking on Team ShadowFrost Fusion here in the Targon division. And this week, happy to welcome back Bonfire to the casting desk here on APL. Happy to have you back.
Yeah, it's good to be back. Got over my illness. I think a lot of people have been getting sick this summer, so I don't know what it was. Something was going around, but feeling better now. Obviously, I am back. It's nice to be back. I heard I missed an absolute banger, which kind of stinks, but I'm hoping that we get some more Fiesta theatrics here because these are two lower-level teams that maybe haven't had the start of the season that they want, and I want to see a bloody fist fight for the two of them because, honestly, you lose one or two more series, that's kind of your split. You can kind of kiss playoffs goodbye. So this is a very, very important match for both of these teams.
Yeah, it certainly is, Bonfire. Like you said, both these teams sitting at 1 and 2, so certainly would like to be doing a little bit better than that overall. But as we are already into the picks and bans here, we've got both teams firing off some bans as we got Zaya and Rel taken away by Team ShadowFrost Fusion. Over on the other side, Renge Tea Time going to be limiting away the Zyra and Shaco, interestingly enough. So some pocket picks being denied early on here. We always love to see that draft research coming through.
Yeah, I can't really talk about how meta any of these champions are. You've got Zaya, Rel, and Ivern. That's fairly meta. And then the other side of things, RTT going for just the crazy, annoying bans. Honestly, they just like me for real. I hate those. I hate Shaco. I hate Vlad. I hate Zyra. So I get it. The Maokai is going to be picked up first for TSF, and it's a very strong champion right now, especially paired with the Jace. Just makes going into engagements and neutral objective fights incredibly difficult. And it really ensures that you always have vision. So Maokai making its reemergence one of the strongest champions at the moment, but it is rivaled by Sejuani, also a very strong tank jungler.
Yeah, both of those jungles safely locked away. Really not committing either of these teams into just too much yet. We'll see what else Renge Tea Time wants to pick up. We often see a lot of marksmen or supports picked up at this point in the draft, but there's a lot of options because, like you said, some kind of niche picks taken off the board. I guess specifically more by Renge Tea Time, but it will be that support pick locked away here with the Rakan alongside the Sejuani. So definitely going to be some nice engage on the side of Renge Tea Time.
Yeah, Rakan Sejuani very strong together. Early picking the Rumble, very interesting right there because I do think Rumble kind of gets countered fairly easily.
Okay.
Usually you see the Rumble as a good counter pick into a Renekton or something of that sort where they want to be right in your face, but still very strong champion. No matter the laning matchup, it can be incredibly strong again in those neutral objective fights. You throw down your fiery ashen wasteland and make them walk into saplings and that, and you should win every fight. So looks like they're picking for really good neutral objective control.
Yeah, and interestingly enough here, Renge Tea Time, they don't want to take an answer to either of those solo lane picks, instead locking in the other half of this bot lane with the Misfortune. So now I would expect some focus on the bot lane here for Renge Tea Time. Of course, Tristana could flex down into that bot lane, but generally speaking here, Bonfire, Team ShadowFrost Fusion with the Rumble Tristana, at least in professional play, I think that those are regarded as kind of two of the highest tier solo laners, so I think they're happy to pick those ones up. And so far across the board, it seems like on the blue side, it's kind of like a tier list kind of picks here, really strong in their roles, but we'll see if they can get those champions to work well together as we get through this second phase of bans here.
Yeah, I really like their draft because sometimes you'll see teams just pick a hodgepodge of meta champions and they just stick their hand in a hat and hope for the best, but it does feel like this team, like you talked about, gels really well together, and they're very good champions, obviously. And so I think the strength there is those neutral fight objectives. They're not as good on the split push. They're definitely much stronger when they group up as 5, and then I think small corridors are always going to favor this team comp, but man, are they good in those small corridors. I just think it's going to be so difficult to hop on a Tristana when you've got a Maokai and a Rumble stopping you. So the Scion is going to be that return pick with the Orin band out, it did kind of feel like the most natural top laner to pick up something of the tank variety. When you go that early damage, like I talked about, into Rumble, it does feel like the Rumble wins out on a lot of those traits, just on, you know, the flamethrower aspect of the champion. So opting instead to just go tank and sack the top lane altogether.
Yeah, so trying to hold strong for as long as possible into this Rumble, but could give the Rumble some free scaling opportunity if they don't manage to get some ganks off in that top lane. And Sion and Sejuani overall obviously going to be pretty low damage, so will be interesting to see how that top side of the map plays out. Is the Leona going to be locked in here for Team ShadowFrost Fusion? We will see if that Tristana is going to go into the bot lane, or if they want to pick up another bot lane sort of character here. It seems like, you know, they've got a lot of flexibility as far as what kind of damage profile they want to go. They've already got AP and AD, and it will be the Cassiopeia locked in here, Bonfire. So I would assume that means Tristana down into the bot lane, but you never know.
You really do never know. I like the cast. I think that there's not a ton that can just chase you down. The Xerath is going to be the counter pick. I am a known hater of the Xerath pick. I've constantly said it just feels like a worse Syndra, because you're just so immobile, and if they're able to hop on top of you, it's just deuces. So I don't like the Xerath pick just in general. I do think it has its strengths, and I think into Cassiopeia, that's where it is going to find its biggest strength. It is a counter to Cass, just on the off chance that you can outrange her, and yeah, it does feel like you can kind of consistently get good trades into Cass, who is really the queen of trading. So I understand the pick. I do think going Xerath into a Leona or Xerath into a Rumble is kind of asking for the worst to happen, but there is a world where the Xerath is able to get range and stand behind the backline of Sejuani Sion and just get consistent damage out, even in the late game.
Yeah, and Xerath, I mean, as you, of course, were just speaking about, locked in as that mid lane pick here for Renge tea time. And I'm going to go ahead and say, Bonfire, that I disagree with you. I'm pumped up to see Xerath because, I mean, I'm in a way I'm pumped, in a way I'm not. And I'll explain that as we go through this client draft, and saying our good friend Ziggs was banned away in this draft in the second round, and something that we've seen him, I think, in both of the series that we casted so far together in APL, and something that we've also seen with those games with champions like Ziggs. Xerath fits into a very similar role, in my opinion, in that he just clears those minion waves and allows you to scale late into the game, and or just kind of delay if you fall behind. So I like seeing it because I think it fits into that same sort of wheelhouse as Ziggs, of just, you know, infinite wave clear and keeping your team in the game. But I don't like it because sometimes it can lead to these extremely drawn out engagements. So we'll see if you know, if that's the case, but I got to be the contrarian, I guess.
Yeah, I like Ziggs so much more because of the passive, where you just knock down towers like it's nobody's business. That's where I feel like a lot of Ziggs' strengths come from.
I think Ziggs is definitely the better champion out of the two, like, which is why we see it. I think Xerath also may have, either he did receive, or at some point in the future is going to receive some more buffs. So I just think that we're slowly pushing in that direction. And I think what you said, Bonfire, makes total sense about the matchup, because if Cassiopeia can't hit Q, then she's no longer the queen of trading, like, you know, kind of as you dubbed her, she generally is.
Yeah, no, I think in terms of matchups, this is one of the better ones you can go Xerath into. So I get it, I understand it. I also think the shift of the Tristana to the bot lane into Miss Fortune, I'm a fan of that. I think that's just a good matchup, just because Miss Fortune tends to feast on low mobility AD carries and early engagements as well. I feel like Tristana can kind of negate that, and is a fairly good laner as well. So I like, you know, shifting the Tristana down and instead going for the Cassiopeia in the mid lane, and then obviously it was countered by the Xerath. I will say, for RTT, looking at their draft comp, a little concerned about their lack of damage, because it's the Miss Fortune and it's the Xerath, and that's it. If one of them gets picked off by the Leona or by a Maokai root, or just gets chunks down by, you know, all of the poke damage that TSF has, that's just kind of a lost fight. And so that's my biggest concern for this RTD squad, is they just kind of, they have two damage threats and neither of them have any movement abilities. So you better hope none of them get CC'd, because it is kind of deuces then if that happens.
Yeah, it's going to be on those engagers over on the side of over on the blue side there to make that happen. So let's I don't think we've documented any predictions, Bonfire, so I'm putting you on the spot right now. Last week I was correct. It was a 2-0 for Con Esports Z. This time, who do you got? Renge Tea Time or I'm so sorry, Team ShadowFrost Fusion?
I've got Team ShadowFrost Fusion just based on this first draft. I think they have a better hold on the meta. And look, all these teams, and I don't want to insult anybody, but are having a really rough season, so it's hard to guess how much rougher one is having than the other. But just based on that, I like TSF a little bit. But I'm going to go Team ShadowFrost Fusion. They do 1-1.
All right, 2-1. I will once again be the contrarian. I like this draft just as far as the niche picks from Renge Time. So I'm going to say Renge Tea Time's going to take it, but also in a 2-1. Both of these seem to be scrappy teams based on the record so far. But hey, we're going to be back in just about a minute and a half. We're going to finish out this spectator delay, and when we come back, we will be on the Rift for game 1 of Team Shadow Fusion ShadowFrost Fusion versus Renge Tea Time. I'm not going to say it wrong again. Stay with us. everybody, and we are on to the Rift for game 1 here in the Targon division with Team ShadowFrost Fusion taking on Renge Tea Time. We got the 5-stack invade here, immediately going to be spotted out by VIP Emperor, as well as Ghost. So even though a ward will be put down over on the Raptor pit here, it is going to be traded for vision on the other side. Looks like everybody else is going to back off after that. Taking a look here at these runes, anything surprising or out of the ordinary here, Bonfire, that we're seeing?
Not really. First strike on Xerath and Misfortune feels like they should be able to proc that fairly consistently, so I get it. You got the what's that, phase rush? My eyesight is leaving me on Rumble.
It looks like Rumble's got the Comet this time.
Comet, sorry, thank you. Yeah, the Comet.
No worries. No worries.
Comet's not bad. I get it with the harpoons that you kind of throw out there, because you're able to get that Comet damage. I do kind of feel like with the flamethrower, I don't know if you're getting the full extent of the Comet. I also will say, not a Rumble aficionado. Not only am I not a top laner, I am definitely not a Rumble top laner. So it seems like in theory there might be better ones, but maybe there's some hidden Rumble tech I'm not understanding, as Arnie and Ghost are sniffing this one out, although they're going to have to go at some point, and they finally did wait long enough where Walter Bot needed to head on down and were able to ensure that they do not get engaged on too early by that Rakan Misfortune setup.
Yeah, that vision means that they knew Sejuani not starting on the blue buff, so they must be somewhere waiting for that level 1 engagement. And overall here in this bot lane, looks like level 2 will go over to Walter Bot and We're
gonna have to figure something out. Yeah. Let's. What do we feel? What name do we want to use for tonight?
I'm just gonna say Krem. I'm just gonna call him Krem. Just that one part.
Okay.
I've cool decided that. For now. Yeah, Clemus, but I don't know how well I'm going to be able to say that in the midst of the fight. We'll see. But yeah, so for now, going to be okay on that Rakan and Misfortune here at the bot lane. I will say eventually, if I were to, think about a lane where I feel like there could be some, lane v lane violence, it would probably be that bot lane where, there is that pretty nasty all-in potential from the Leona and Tristana eventually, especially once they hit like level 3 kind of times. Both jugglers also coming towards this bot lane eventually, so meanwhile it seemed fun until it wasn't anymore, as Loveless going to be taking 2 turret shots, dies to first blood.
Yeah, that is kind of the tank matchup. If anyone's ever gone into a tank in the top lane, it's all, goody two-shoes, everything feels great, and then you die once, and suddenly, a lane that you were supposed to get your own lead in, you have your own deficit in, and you need to have your jungle help you, but hold on, we might have something near the bot lane.
Inidium Phineas is down here into this bot lane. Looks like Ghost is going to be ignited, stunned, gets healed, able to flash away for now, but VIP Emperor will be the next target. The Maokai's presence, though, will be enough to stave off the aggression at this time. And summoners used, 2 summoners used, it looks like, by the bot lane of Team ShadowFrost Fusion for just the ignite from Rakan. So nice positive trade there for the red side, already up 1-0 after that kill on the top side.
Yeah, RTT playing the map really well right now. I think they're doing really good at vision, because they had no idea that the Sejuani was in the wings, and so Ghost went a little early before the Maokai was there, but was under the understanding that the Maokai would be right behind them, and ended up walking into a Sejuani, which top 5 things I would not want to walk into. Sejuani probably makes that list. So luckily, Ghost ends up keeping their life, but it is going to cost them in summoners. And like I was talking about in the top side, if you're Loveless, pick this feeling good, feeling like you're going to have a free lane, and suddenly you're losing this matchup actually fairly handily, down in CS and in a kill, and getting poked under tower. So kind of rough pick'ems here from the Rumble. And this is kind of what I was talking about as well. The Rumble, great pick, doesn't go great into everybody. And I think Sion can abuse some parts of the Rumble's kit.
Yeah, well, I mean, Cyan, a tank champion that does a lot of damage early on in the game. So maybe just not understanding that matchup correctly, it seems like so far for Loveless. Or maybe, you know, lag. I definitely would have typed lag in the chat after that death personally. But that's just me. Ooh, Ultimate coming out here from Dynal, and it is going to be the flash away from Sushi Man to keep himself alive, but no teleport to come back into this lane. Teleport not even used yet on the side of Dynal. So far in this 1v1 matchup, as we anticipated, Bonfire, it will be advantage to the Xerath, sitting about 10 CS up already here.
Yeah, cleanse on the Cassiopeia
must be for the Sejuani ult, I guess.
I guess I get it. I do understand there's a lot of CC on the side of RTT, but I really still feel like you want TP, especially late game. Cassiopeia is not an inefficient side lane threat, and so if you're gonna have to do a Baron push, or you know you want to throw Cassiopeia in the bot lane before a Baron take. You know, I feel like you would want teleport in this instance, but Sushi Man 777 decides instead that they want to pretty much just team fight. I think that's what the cleanse is signifying, that they want to be always in the midst of action. And I do think it'll get good usage, but kind of interesting they decided to go away from that teleport.
Yeah. And we'll see. I mean, it's just a question of how far behind will Sushi Man fall, because, you know, if you can stay somewhat competitive, Cassiopeia, once you can get into those team fights, is going to be a stronger team fighting champion. But otherwise, you know, if you're just constantly poked out, not able to get enough gold to even, you know, make that impact, then it will not be worth it. So we will wait and see. As checking in on sort of CS across the board, Loveless has been able to catch up despite that early whoopsie, we'll say, for the first blood, as Emperor down here will be spotted out by the ward. But other than that, no massive gold leads, it looks like. Maybe a little bit of fighting here bot lane, but no, not nobody gonna go too hard.
No, across the board, both teams are just kind of playing it safe. I love this move right now from Finnish, though, deciding that, oh, yeah, we saw the Maokai in the bot side. Let's just see if there's any goodies I can take in the top side. And indeed, it was a treat and not a trick as we approach the Halloween months. I mean, maybe if you're
a store putting out, you know, the decorate. I did, you know, I was at you know, an unnamed, because they don't sponsor us yet, retail location, and they had the Halloween decorations out. And anyways, so I think it's a little bit egregious, but I'll allow your reference.
Look, man, I agree with you. I'm just so excited. I am a huge fan of the holidays, so I will take any opportunity, especially once July 4th ends and there's just this big lull period where nothing's really going on. I need something to keep me going through the days. I need to be excited about something. So
holiday action for sure.
Exactly. What are you? So as we completely decide to not talk about League of Legends anymore, do you dress up still? I know we're both a little bit older, but do you still dress up? I still dress.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, well, personally have a child, so you know, I gotta participate in it with her, but also, yeah, I mean, I'm a big fan of dressing up, so why not? But Sushi Man, he's gonna be dressed up as a zombie this time, because he's gonna be dead in the ground and nothing he can do about it. The cleanse will be used, but it's going to keep him in place long enough that it does not matter. And the Xerath still going to pick up the turret plate here. Picked up the assist, kill credit going over to the Sejuani, but still has this teleport. And, you know, it does start to look more and more dire potentially here in this mid lane for Xerath. I mean, one aspect of it, I will say, is the Rift Herald looks like going to be taken here by Renge Tea Time. Is you made a great point.
Oh no, Dino.
Dynal is going to be able to sidestep. He's going to flash away for now, but he's in the midst of multiple members here. Do they have the damage to finish him off? It will be TSF Ghost trying to claim the last hit, and Sushi Man arriving, which means they have a lot more damage available. Meanwhile, in the top lane, there will be a 1v1. Loveless having to flash away. Knockup still going to come through from Mr. Dizlot, but does not have the confidence that his damage will be able to finish it for now. Plus, other members are making their way up the river after that previous engagement. So far, it is just a 1-0 for Team ShadowFrost Fusion, but TSF Ghost potentially looking forward here. Krem and Initium Finis waiting in the shadows there, but now Rift Herald started up again, and Xerath is going to be back, has used the teleport to come back into the fight. Sejuani still not going to have her ultimate available. Same for most of the other champions here as well, but now Sushi Man has arrived once again. We talked about the impact that this Cassiopeia can have in the team fights, and we've got multiple low members on the red side here as Krem is going to be able to jump away for now, but just already more autos would do it from the Tristana. Walterbot going to get the ultimate interrupted here. Now able to use the cleanse to stay safe from VIP Emperor for now, but for how long? Because there's multiple other members here, but Dynal and Walterbot, these are the two most important champions on the side of Renge Tea Time. It looks like for now they will not be able to get anything else done, and so overall it seems like that is a huge win considering the circumstances for Team ShadowFrost Fusion, and we can see why Sushi Man wanted this Cassiopeia or pick. He's going to go really low. Dynel does not have the ultimate, but it will push Cassiopeia out of lane, so a little bit of a caster curse there, but she's got gold. Just
look, Sushi Man is an incredibly strong presence when they're team fighting, and that just goes to show it. It right there was able to hop in and pretty much turn the tides of that team fight, and this is one of the reasons I'm not a huge fan of the Xerath. Really great in the laning phase. It's been an absolute nuisance for this Cassiopeia, but you saw it right there in that fight. Rocked the ultimate, tried to get some damage across, and immediately had to stop it because they just started running them down. So that is going to be something to keep an eye on as the game continues. And the Xerath get the damage across. It's almost like a League of Legends minigame. But as a whole, neither team really got out of that fight feeling too good. Both teams feeling a little worse for wear, but nobody too important died during that. I believed it was a 1 for 2, 1 for 1. It was a lot of low health bars, not a lot of dead members, but across the board, interesting things. I wanted to say as well, we didn't really have a chance because it was the longest team fight of all time. Sushi Man, we saw what that cleanse could do. Not really a lot. It kind of feels like this cleanse has to be paired up with a flash as well to keep them really safe. And I think that just goes with the Sejuani ultimate. Yes, you can cleanse the stun, but you are still going to get the slow. And when you're on the Sejuani, or when you're on the Cassiopeia, that could mean death. Arnie.
Oh, Arnie going to try to jump forward in this trade, but it's bad timing because Sejuani has arrived, and it's a double kill for Walterbot. VIP Emperor can do nothing more than watch as the bot lane members of their team drop down, and it is going to be just a clean, easy 2 for 0 excuse me, gold into the pocket of misfortune, and going to be super important here for Walterbot, as they will also be able to push this wave into the turret. 2 dragons stacking also for Renge Tea Time. They're about 2.4k gold ahead, and I mean, I feel like they got to feel pretty good about this game right now.
Yeah, I'm kind of a question mark on that one. Hold on a second.
Ooh, mid lane, Sejuani does not have the ultimate, but Sushi Man is so low. Dynel, did he get interrupted, or did he just miss?
I think they just have 4 shots at this current time.
Okay, right at the arcane, not able to land the last shot there. So, I mean, Sushi Man has been able to do a good job of not, avoiding the last hit, I guess, from this Xerath, but still getting pushed out of lane time and time again. I guess I'm impressed that the CS lead is not higher than it is, but there is an XP advantage for sure there for Dynal in the mid. And again, I mean, it's just, we'll see if it ends up manifesting that much, because last time Sushi Man in the team fight was really huge. It's just about whether or not they can find those, situations in those angles where Cassiopeia can really efficiently get her poison and damage down.
Yeah, it's going to have to come down to that, as Dinal is going to have to watch as the Rift Herald gets dropped on their mid lane. Xerath has definitely been the stronger lane matchup into Sushi Man so far, but a little help from the friends, and Dinal actually has to be careful now. This Nature's Graph should command respect. No respect given.
4 members diving under this mid lane turret. Arnie now taking the aggro, but they're doing a pretty nice job actually of juggling it back and forth. Now Sushi Man, though, having to flash. No one going down so far as Loveless, also TPing in to support the rest of the team. And they, looks like for now, Renge Tea Time not able to find the engage. Oh, flash forward, Walterbot trying to land that Q bounce, but it will not go through. And now walking into Fog of War are 2 members of Renge Tea Time. Bullet Time going to come through, but only going going to find one. Finally, Sejuani finding the last hit, and now Unstoppable Onslaught coming through here from Mr. Daisalot. Will find the knockup onto VIP Emperor, but Walterbot going to get twisted in advance. Arnie gonna jump over the wall, and I don't know what Renge Tea Time was thinking there, because it's a 4v2. And Dynal trying to clean up what he can. Will grab one, but it's the re-emergence of Team ShadowFrost Fusion in this game. More like they were never out of it, as they will take the kill lead.
Yeah, RTT, one at a time, single file line into the death brush that is Team Fusion. Oh man, it did feel like they just did not need to do that. There were so many instances where they had a chance to just walk away, and they constantly just kept going into the meat grinder, turned into a pork Vienna sausage. Just not what you want to do. They end up losing their lives for it. They end up losing the kill lead. Still firmly a hold of the gold lead, but they do give up a lot of gold. So not really what you want to be doing. I will say they have the gold in a lot of the right places. They got a lot of money on this Misfortune. This Xerath doing okay for themselves as well. Actually, the Xerath with all the CS and the first turret, one of the richest in the game right now. So the money's in the right place for them, but it just goes to show if they walk in one by one, that is going to be really tough for them. And these carries for the TSF squad are doing a lot of heavy lifting. Sushi Man and Arnie doing quite a lot as Loveless is getting a good trade-off.
How much damage is being done by this Rumble, but now a team fight has broken out as this dragon is going to spawn soon, as Inidium Finis is going to get dropped low but will not die for now. Mr. Daisalot going to be dropped so low there, so not going to be able to participate in this fight. Does have the teleport if he's able to get back into the base, and probably will teleport back now, but TSF Ghost going to get into the middle of the team as Walterbot now able to get the bullet time off. Will be able to cleanse, but Arnie into the backline getting the kill only at the cost of his own life, but Sushi Man is going to be the last carry available on the side of Team ShadowFrost Fusion. Dynal on the other side, and Loveless, I guess, also another carry still alive. Sorry, I forgot about you top laners, because you're not that relevant a lot of the time. Just like right now is Loveless. How long can he remain relevant is the question. Going to get chased down, wants to try to burn through this Sejuani, and it looks like he will, so trading it back. And so we can see why this Rumble was prioritized for the side of Team ShadowFrost Fusion, pushing Sion out of the fight completely to begin with, and then also going down ultimately, but being able to trade so much damage on the other side.
It ends up being an uneven fight. RTT win on the numbers. However, does feel like TSF, all things considered, which was a pretty terrible engage for them, they still found a pretty good winning fight. So TSF showing out.
Okay.
We might have ourselves another fight right now, though.
Walterbot feeling dangerous here, does not have the bullet time available on the dragon, is going to be secured by the side of Team ShadowFrost Fusion, but will they be punished for it? Renge Tea Time, they want to do something about it. The Unstoppable Onslaught has been used. They do not have access to the quickness yet, so they really do not have any more engaged tools. And so they're just going to be forced to walk away. Going to trade the Rift Herald, it looks like, but their dragon stacking going to be interrupted there, and that will be a nice bit of breathing room if you're Team ShadowFrost Fusion, knowing that you're not quite up against that soul point yet anyways.
Loveless needs to be so careful right now. Is in a really precarious situation. Is able to get out before Mr. Daisalot was able to crunch down on top of top laner for TSF.
They weren't even able to trade anything, so
no, this Rift Herald, it's tough for them. They gave up tempo right there because they decided to half go for it, and so they all kind of needed to back. They were low on mana, such and such. Dino wanted to get the bot side turret, and so they give up that tempo, which means they cannot trade the Rift Herald yet. It's also, is it 30 seconds until the Rift Herald drops? So if they want it, they gotta go now. If I'm TSF, I'm just hanging around, biding their time. Just try to waste their time, because Baron's gonna spawn soon enough. You kind of have to just let the timers do the heavy lifting. You just saw Dino in the bot side.
I don't think they're gonna be able to.
I feel like you can probably engage on this. You know where the Scion is. The Xerath's not going to be that close yet. Here we go.
Now you definitely know where he is, because Unstoppable Onslaught is coming through. Waste their time. 2023 is the goal, but it's not going to succeed. Now we'll see if the fight's able to break out as Sushi Man is going to have to flash away immediately. And huge Rumble to the right of the Arcane on the back line, but it's Rumble going to the middle of the fight, doing a lot of damage. Walterbot and Dynaldo still alive on the retreat. Multiple members taken down here from Renge Tea Time. It's a 2 for 0, and it doesn't even look like anyone's low at all on the other side. TSF, do they think about the Baron here? VIP Emperor is going to be pretty low. Oh, good. So they are going to start it up, but now look at the amount of AoE damage, and it's only going to take 1 Q from the Xerath for them to realize that probably wasn't the best idea.
Yeah, I had visions of a Dignitas Baron take right there, and I started shivering in my sight. I'm glad that they got off of that. Good recognition that all it would take is a little bit of poke, and once Walterbot got that bullet time up, that was going to be a rough take right there. Good fight though, really good fight, and that's the Rumble damage right there. And this is why I say neutral objectives are going to favor TSF. That was a huge Rumble ult. They just had to sit on it and wait, especially with the Nature's Grasp from the Maokai. They just are all rooted up, and they sit in the middle of this ginormous AoE damaging ult, and it just burns them and burns them and burns them. And if it does not kill them, they're not strong enough to go back in. And so you saw it right there. The carries had to back themselves away. The low health members had to walk out because they had burned so much. And that just left the front line to be, shredded by the Tristana and by the Cassiopeia. And so if it's going to come down to neutral objective fights, I really do feel like TSF has that advantage, especially if they pair their ultimates well. I think where their weakness comes into play is if they just get poked out. When you've got the Misfortune, when you've got the Xerath, it does feel like they could be going into every fight at 75% health instead of 100% health. And so they need to be concerned about that. But that last fight goes to show where their strength lies and where they might be able to take this game back, because again, they are still down about 2,000 gold, believe it or not. It does feel like they have the tempo, but they are still down statistically in gold.
Yeah, I mean, and I wanted to just echo a point that you made in the champion select bonfire, which is that the reason why it's so crucial for TSF to not take that poke is that otherwise the damage is very limited here from Renge Tea Time, especially as the game goes on. Sion does not do, any substantial amount of damage anymore. And, even though MF can do a ton of damage, she gets the right bullet time. She's not that DPS 80 carry, even beyond, that not being her identity. She's going for this lethality build. So as we see both teams, this Dragon once again going to be a huge point of contention here when it comes up in 27 seconds. Already a point of contention to control the vision around it, but how can Renge Tea Time use the damage that they have drafted efficiently is the question, because Mr. Dizalot, he needs to be the one to make space for his carries, but he's already going to be poked out of the fight before it even begins.
Yeah, they were able to get good vision control as well as river control right now, so it is kind of a split right now.
Cyan's going to TP back in. We see that ward over on the red buff. No, he's going to go for the safer option here, as the Dragon has been started up by Renge Tea Time. They want to get themselves to that soul point on this Hextech Rift, as Loveless stacking up some of that, stacking up the damage over on the side. Mr. Dizalot trying to zone here. Dragon going to be at a little under half, as now it is going to be the Maokai going in. VIP Emperor here as Walterbot not using the bullet time yet. When will he use it? And TSF Ghost going to immediately be able to cancel it, but Mr. Dizalot so far not taking any damage in the backline. We see what a difference that these fights can look like when it is that Sion creating so much space for the team, as Arnie going to be running away as it takes a long time, but VIP Emperor finally will fall. It's a 3 for 0 so far for the side of Renge Tea Time. They're going to take the Dragon and they're going to transition it over into a Baron.
Yeah, I don't really understand that decision from TSF. They had the wave pushing mid. That wasn't an essential Dragon. It felt like they kind of just, pardon my French, half-assed it. They kind of decided they wanted to go in. You had the
equalizer. He wants to make something happen. What will they be able to do? No one's going to drop so far, but now it is going to be the first kill going down under Walterbot. Multiple members going to be dropping low, and this Baron has not been finished yet. Sushi Man going to be able to sidestep the damage for now. Will they be able to finish him off? Baron going very low, and it will be secured by Iridium Finis. But now Ghost going to go forward. Shutdown coming down onto the Xerath, going into the pocket of Sushi Man. 3 versus 2 here as Ghost, it looks like, will be able to continue to run away. Mr. Daislot so low on mana, going to use the Unstoppable Onslaught, and I guess going to use it to just get away at this point, as Crown going to be left to the wolves as a sacrificial lamb. Flashing over the wall to waste their time. 2023, I guess even some more here. But meanwhile, as you saw there in the mid lane, it's Arnie1 taking an inhibitor. What is happening? What is happening, Bonfire? That is the question. As Rakan's going to make his way out.
What is going on? This is okay. That is insane. Okay, so they go for the Baron take. It looks like it was going to be uncontested. The Rumble teleports in, blasts Cone right next to them, gets an equalizer, gets one, dies, and then they just funnel all of their non-damage in, except for Sushi Man, who was at no health. Sushi Man dies. I don't think Sushi Man took one with them, but they got them low enough for the Maokai and the Leona to do the damage the entire time that Tristana is taking the mid lane. So I don't know if that is the most genius split push I've ever seen or the most stupid split push, as Arnie taking a lot of damage from the Xerath ultimate. That was insane. But they, I guess, are okay with it. The issue is they still lose the Baron.
Siege coming through here. I mean, this is where Xerath thrives. He wants to be able to have you sitting under those turrets so he can poke you out. And we can see at this point in the game, one of the huge strengths, using that right of the arcane to just make sure the AD carry wouldn't be a part of the situation, as TSF Ghost was looking for an engage. The IP Emperor also still trying to follow this up, but they're not able to get this CC onto the carries. Equalizer dropped as well, but now you can't help but wonder if Renge T-Time might want to make something happen with so many cooldowns being expended here, and Arnie1 looking like he might be in a tricky spot here under the turret, flashing away. Mr. Daislot is going to be tanking, but you know he could be taking those shots all day long. Sion with that full tank, very armor heavy build it looks like so far, and the siege is going to continue here as Xerath stepping pretty far forward. Bullet time coming through. It's a nice job as the enemy team is pretty much funneled in. And it will be VIP Emperor going down with the front line no longer available for Team ShadowFrost Fusion. It's going to be the inhibitor exposed and taken down. Minions will be in the base of Renge T-Time though, so they will want to back off, but they've got to feel good about this use of their Baron buff. They will take down the more valuable inhibitor overall in that bot lane, and they'll get back to the base before they lose anything more serious.
Yeah, that the Nature's Grasp and the Equalizer didn't really equalize a lot, and it didn't really grasp a lot of people, and so those are two of the strongest ultimates down for the side of TSF. And yeah, when those ults are down, it just goes to show that they are a husk of the team they could be. Right there, it just felt like they were fighting with not a lot of engagement tools. They have to burn flash on both of their carries, so that's going to be down for the Soul coming up in 20 seconds. It was a fight over nothing. It felt like it was a fight over their own jungle, and they thought they had a pick. They were not able to get it, and now this dragon feels like I don't know. It just does not really feel like a possibility, especially when you have this Sion in the top side forcing the Rumble to match them. Teleports are going to come across, so it is going to be a 5v5. But VIP, oh no.
VIP Emperor though, before a fight even starts, it will be the jungler down for Team ShadowFrost Fusion, and that could spell a free soul here. It looks like the other members are just going to back off. They don't even want to try. Wouldn't be a very wise fight. And I mean, overall, you know, even though it is that soul going over, you're going to be happy about that if you are Renge T-Time. But you know, the Chemtech Soul, sorry, I was thinking of the name, is usually thought of as kind of the weakest one, I feel like. So at the end of the day, not going to be something that they're going to throw the game away over.
Yeah, Chemtech Soul, definitely not the strongest of the souls, but it does feel like
it's
the nail
huge for
has...
Scion, and
yeah,
I mean, honestly, looking at the tanks particularly, it is pretty big. But sorry to interrupt.
It feels like the nail has started to enter the coffin. It does feel like this game is teetering on being over. There is still good scaling. Sushi Man, you've got Arnie on the Tristana, but I don't know. It just feels really tough, especially because we talked about that Nature's Grasp and the Equalizer being such a strong combination. I don't know when you're going to be able to find those anymore, because they don't have to funnel into objectives. That doesn't need to be an issue. Before, you could kind of force them to play on your battlegrounds, and that's where they had kind of won their team fights. But at this point, they can just set up vision control.
I've seen this before. Yeah. Bonfire, Maokai getting caught, and that's just going to be transitioned over here to the Baron, which is going to be spawning in just about 11 seconds. So now, very similar situation to before, and it looks like for now, Sushi Man is in the bot lane, which makes me think that this is not just going to go uncontested again. I mean, I don't really know.
They're all full health. I don't see how they can do this. They're all full health. There's no way you could try to contest this, especially without a jungler. There's no Nature's Grasp. Your Cassiopeia has cleanse, so you're never getting this Cassiopeia there in time. It's just well, bye ghosts. Ooh, fancy footwork.
Yeah. I mean, if you're Team ShadowFrost Fusion, you want to shoot your shot, you want to take your chance, but if you don't have all 5 members, it just feels like, it's kind of just feels like it's suicide basically at that point. So can they actually try to find a 5v5 team fight? I mean, they will be able to find one. The question is, will it be, at all advantageous for them, as the siege will begin here with the Baron buff here. Mr. Dies a Lot just looking so tanky up in this top lane. Loveless did have that 1v1 advantage for a while, but at this point, Scion has just, had those advantages in the team fight, gotten that extra gold, and just feeling really, really strong here with that hull breaker and the 1v1. Probably that doing the most work as far as the 1v1 matchup. And the turret's gonna fall here. Feels like it's only a matter of time. Arnie won. What's the play? Is Tristana flank, it looks like, I guess, possibly.
Tristana
is going to be the case. Solar Flare coming through. Nature's Grass going to follow it up. Walter Bot going to be the target here for the Tristana, but he's able to flash away, and now the Equalizer is going to split the fight in two, but Mr. Dizelot and Finis do take so much damage, and they just won't die as the carries are just untouched on the backline. A triple kill for Walter Bot's Misfortune, and they're going to push it down the mid lane. It's gonna be game over here. Mr. Dies a Lot using that Scion passive before he kicks the bucket, and Loveless can only run in the middle of all of them and just hit his Q because it's GG. Renge tea time. They don't make, I don't want to say they make it look easy, but at the end of the day, they come away with the victory here in game 1.
They don't make it look easy, but they also don't make it look too difficult either. Once they got their finger in the door, they completely slammed it open. And it did not feel like TSF at a certain point in the game had a way back into it. A couple of those dragon fights go different. Maybe they're able to equalize that game, but it just felt like they were swinging at empty air. They needed to get onto the carries, and the front line was just too much. The Xerath and the Misfortune I talked about, they needed to be the damage threats. They were fairly immobile. If they were gone untouched, they have a real chance at winning the game. And boy, did they go untouched. They just were able to stand in the back line and shoot off their ultimates and get tons and tons of damage. And the front line did exactly what they needed to do. So RTT grabbed themselves the game 1 victory. And TSF, a pretty essential game that they need to win next, pretty essential series that they need to win. And it's going to be dire times, dire straits coming up soon.
Yeah, definitely will be. And yeah, going and looking at, trying to look at bright spots here. in the post game, we can see that Loveless on the Rumble did do the most damage at the end of the day, but it felt to me like they just were never able to set up the right situations for that equalizer to really get the maximum damage off. So maybe they're able to run it back with that champion. I'd like it a lot more with something like a Jarvan or something else that can kind of just control terrain and kind of activate that Rumble a little bit more, but we'll see. We're going to take a little bit of a break so that I can turn the light on and emerge from the darkness here. But when we come back, the light will be on and we will be in draft for game 2. And it looks like we will switch sides here. So it will be Renge tea time on the blue side, taking on Team ShadowFrost Fusion on the red. I got it all throughout the game. I got it that time, and we will see you in a moment. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Renge tea time against Team ShadowFrost Fusion, or Team ShadowFrost something, according to the draft here. But anyways, I'm Elsa the Queen. I don't know if I ever said my name this time, but I'm back here with Bonfire. By the way, I just noticed, Bonfire, that you're wearing a Totoro shirt. I'm a fellow Totoro enjoyer, so Totoro enjoyers of the world unite. Just wanted to say that.
My Neighbor Totoro, fantastic movie, one of my favorite movies, and
doesn't sponsor us though.
Doesn't
I don't know
sponsor
if movies
us,
sponsor
so
people, but
this is, I gotta like cover it up now. It's well, we're not sponsored by T1 either, but we have a T1 shirt on, or maybe we are sponsored by
I'm working on it, obviously. So
yeah, it's true. They're waiting for the next figure to come out of the
We're gonna get into the draft. We're gonna get into the bands here, as Renge tea time gonna be taking away that Zyra once again. Zaya taking away on the other side, and it looks like the band's gonna be looking just about identical so far, which it makes sense. We'll see if there are any last adjustments here, as it does look like that Zirath gonna hit the ban table. We'll see if Ziggs goes alongside it as well. I think Ziggs was banned away in the second round of bans, I want to say, the other time. But yeah, here we are for Team ShadowFrost Fusion, gonna make their last ban, and then it will be up to Renge tea time to see what they want to prioritize first. We'll see if they want to, maybe take that Sejuani first again. Probably will be up and available if they wanted to do so.
Yeah, I feel like the Sejuani had pretty good impact that last game. I don't think it was the reason they won or nothing, but it was a very strong champion to have in your back pocket. A couple of big names still on the board. Kaisa went unpicked and unbanned last game, believe it or not.
Yeah,
Kaisa is still there, Jace still there, Maokai's still there, Ari. Trying to think of other really insanely good champions to grab. Those kind of come to mind first. Rumble, Renekton, all very, very good. They instead go for the Rakan. Now again, Zaya is still banned. Usually you see the Rakan alongside the Zaya, but they think that the champion is still good enough by themselves, and indeed it can be. It is going to be the Ivern Rel as the response, and those were two of the bans from the last game, so they've decided that they just want them for themselves.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, they are able to pick up for Team ShadowFrost Fusion those pieces that were not available to them previously. And yeah, I mean, the Rakan first pick is a little bit interesting without the Zaya available. I will say, Bonfire, that it looks like I wanted to bring up that I believe Krem, as we've been so referring to, is a sub, so it could be kind of a issue of sort of champion pool and what they're comfortable playing with. But you know what it is, if it's not one, it's the other. We don't have Zirath this time. We got the other game extender, long range poker, crazy maniacal laugher, and it's going to be Ziggs. It could be in the mid lane or the bot lane for Renge tea time.
I'd imagine it's a mid lane Ziggs, but you do see it sometimes. Yeah. You see it sometimes in the bot lane, although I think alongside a Rakan it would be a bit of a blunder just because they don't go well together. Talk about maniacal laughter. Vigar going to be picked up.
Sorry, that was my evil. Vigar laugh, but
yeah, he is evil. As the counter response. So talk about just poking and scaling up. Vigar is perfectly okay with that, and it is going to be the most boring mid lane matchup you've ever seen in your entire life, Elsa.
Yeah, definitely going to be a lot of scaling and farming here, and yeah, I mean, a lot of maniacal laughing, but as well, it's a good point made by you. I just kind of had the idea of how obnoxious it would be if I said all the champion select quotes when the champions are picked, because that's something I like to do when I play the game, and then I stopped myself from saying Vigars because it's extremely obnoxious. But now we get into the bans. Yeah,
It's a classic. That one's a classic. I don't know all of them, but I just, Vigars because you immediately have to mute champion lines when he gets picked.
Yeah, it's true. We're gonna see Sion taken away, Kled as well. Gonna be a pocket pick taken off the board. I mean, I gotta say, Mr. Daislot on that Sion last game, it's not super flashy, but did just soak up so much damage. So definitely understandable to see that one taken away. Misfortune not going to be taken by the other side, I guess, since Renge tea time was the one with that last time. And then also Kaisa, as you had mentioned, will be taken off the board here. So for Team ShadowFrost Fusion, what do they want to pick here? Do they want to pick a top laner and then have their 80 carry counter pick, or do they want to blind their 80 carry? We'll find out now. Looks like it's going to be the 80 carry. Makes more sense.
No. All right. I was about to give an impassioned speech on why they should have gone Nyla there, but they decided not to. I feel like Neela or Nyla, however you choose to pronounce it. I think it's Neela. I think Neela with a Rel and an Ivern and a Vygar just would go so hard, especially with how close range of a composition RTT had. I just would have loved a Neela, but they instead decided to be boring. I get it.
I would have taken Samira as well. Samira would have been
good too. Look, I get it. Jinx is the safer option. I understand, but man, I wanted to see a Neela. Neela would have been a lot of fun.
Yeah, and for Renge tea time, they won't have the Scion, but they're going to just pick another meatball instead. It's going to be the Ornn in the top lane for Mr. Daislot, and they'll most likely pick an 80 carry here or something for the bot lane for Walterbot to round it out, and it will be a Sivir picked up here. And yeah, I mean, speaking of T1, they did pick up the Sivir this morning in one of their victories against KT Rolster, so maybe seeing a little bit of a resurgence. Definitely makes sense just as far as this team fighting composition, being able to speed up that Maokai and the Rakan to run into the backline, because I was going to say this about the Jinx pick, as the Camille going to be the last pick here. For the Jinx, I mean, you mentioned it being the safe option. For me, I feel like it's kind of I would feel horrible playing Jinx into this enemy composition, because Maokai can just point and click, root you down, Rakan jumping on your face, knocking you up. So, we'll see how the peel, I guess, that can be provided for this Jinx, because if the peel is not there from, probably specifically this Ivern, it's going to be some rough stuff, I think.
Yeah, I think that there are worse compositions to go into for this Jinx. And like I said, for most AD carries, you could say the same thing about the Sivir, right? Like if you're the Sivir, you have to be concerned about the Rel and the Camille. So I think that's just the life of an AD carry. I agree with you though. It does feel like Jinx very immobile if you do get rooted, especially by the Nature's Grasp. I feel like that's where I think a lot of the issues are going to come in from, and this is why Maokai is so strong, because it just creates this wall of you can't walk past this, and you have to give up all of this map control. So the Jinx does have to respect that, the Vygar has to respect that, and then you just have to force your Rel or your Ivern to tank it, which never feels good. Those aren't the tankiest members in the game. So I like the Maokai pick. I think the Jinx pick is fine. Again, I look at both of these 80 carries and I'm very bored, but look, boring 80 carries wins games, I suppose. I wanted to see a Caitlyn. I really wanted to see a Caitlyn for our RTT. When you've got the Maokai, I would have been like, man, Caitlyn would have gone so hard in that instance. But again, they go very boring with the Sivir. So what are you gonna do?
Wait a second, Bonfire, I think you misspoke because you said you were bored, but it's a Jinx, so you're supposed to be getting excited. So
no,
sorry, you just walked right into that one.
I did. Also, speaking of bad voice lines, Jinx with her laugh, spam laugh, oh my goodness, that actually might be worse than Vygar, I'm not gonna lie.
Played a lot of Jinx, definitely played probably about 100 games of just Jinx in a row not too long ago over the spring. So I definitely know what you're talking about. There's a lot of annoying laughs in the game. We should do a tier list sometime. If we have a pause or something, sometime we'll do a tier list of the most annoying laughs. But yeah, we're gonna get into as we get through the client draft here. I don't think there's going to be any big surprises. So as we finish that out, I want to take a moment to shout out our sponsor, which is Coachify.gg. It is a commission-free esports coaching platform currently in the open beta. And so this is a good chance to get in on it. It's your chance to become a coach today. You can track your students, inspire them to succeed, and turn your passion into a career. Click below the stream to check out their website, and you can find more information. Once again, that's coachify.gg. Check it out. Want to make a little bit of extra money in a way that is, surrounding something that you like to do? This could be a good idea. And looks like we have finished out this draft here. We are going to get into the spectator delay. Anything else you wanted to say, Bonfire, before that moment? It looks like you're maybe sneezing, I'm not gonna force you to speak at that time. That would not make any sense. We're gonna allow my color caster to recover, and when we return, he will hopefully be recovered. But whether or not that is the case, there will be a game of League of Legends happening between Renge Tea Time and Team ShadowFrost Fusion. Stay with us, and we will be right back.
Clouds move closer, but with a deepest red. Oh, beneath them we look on. When they part comes the hatred they bring. Lost in the dark, we've come so far. Another step to rid the pain. Go and be counted till your last day. 'Cause only nightmares break their face. So stand upon these fallen lands and follow in our Father's plans. Yeah, until the end we will remain, and we'll hold on until our last breath. So what is to be left for us? My people look on and say, don't fear what you don't know, 'cause we're far from certain fate. And we'll make our final stand. Lost in the dark, we've come so far. Another step to rid the pain. Go and be counted till your last day. 'Cause only nightmares break their flames. So stand upon these fallen lands and follow in our Father's plans. Yeah, until the end we
And we are live onto the Rift here for Game 2. Renge Tea Time on the blue side, taking on Team ShadowFrost Fusion over on the red side. Both teams gonna defend the openings to their jungles here. As Team ShadowFrost Fusion, they want to turn things around after an unfortunate loss in Game 1. And, you know, as you talked about earlier in the split, this is not a long regular season here in APL, so each of these matches is going to remember, even each of these games, Bonfire to something like even taking one game in some of these series will be the difference between making the playoffs and not. So we'll see.
Look, you got to start the comeback somewhere, and for both of these teams, it has to start this week. It feels like, and so there's a lot riding on this. I think also, you know, as the resident person who talks not just about the statistics, but the morale, I think it also means a lot to get back in the win column. Hold on.
Ooh, level 1 shenanigans here. Both bot lanes running into each other in this 2v2. And so far, it seems like Walterbot really getting the best of this one, spacing his autos really well here against this Jinx, so who should have a lot of damage with those rockets at level 1. But overall, as the wave arrives, looks like the Sivir and Rakan should have a little bit of advantage, but we'll see who gets level 2 first. Yeah, exciting stuff right away here.
Yeah, good start from the RTT bot line. Talk about Krem, talk about Walterbot. Had really good first games, it felt like, especially that Misfortune ended up popping off. Really good positioning, it felt like. Kind of an underrated aspect of an AD carries game, but felt like they were positioning really well. And hold on a second.
All right, it's going to be Ghost taking a lot of damage. Not enough for lethal there, but the level 2 going to hurt. And we had mentioned, I think in the draft, that Krem is coming in as a sub here in the support role for Renge Tea Time. On the other side, Arnie1, also reserve for Team ShadowFrost Fusion. So yeah, keeping that in mind here, just not necessarily the kind of experience as a duo that they would prefer on either side, but it looks like, ooh, for the blue side right now, not too big of an issue as the Ignite's going to go down, flash forward. Is it going to be enough? That auto will make it happen. First blood going over to the Rakan. And just as I'm, singing the praises of Renge Tea Time's bot lane, they're going to make it happen there. 2v2 kill with the Sivir. Not something that you typically see that early on.
Yeah, Arnie had flash, but decided that they were maybe dead from the Ignite anyway, and so deciding not to flash, that is their downfall. Ends up losing their life. And look, here's the thing.
Invade.
Not all, as we look at this invade, not all kills are created equal. You lose your first blood, you're not getting that gold advantage, the extra gold you get from first blood back. So Arnie might have saved their flash for a better time to use it possibly, but you're just never going to get a kill with that much gold on it for a while now. So interesting decision. I like Krem going on the aggressive there and saying, the Ignite's ticking down. I could turn this from a good trade to a great trade.
PSF Ghost getting pinged out, but we'll be able to just jump over the wall as a lot of... Oh, Dynal does have to flash away. A lot of time was wasted over onto that top side for Loveless and VIP Emperor trying to invade into Iridium Finis's jungle, but they don't find him because all the camps are down. And now Krem should be able to dash back to the AD carry, and so for now will be okay despite VIP Emperor trying to come in here, but instead they're going to turn it the other way, and Arnie does have to flash back. Was afraid that he would just get bursted out if he did not. And I mean, the Sivir's already with those 2 longswords, probably a good call even with the jungler in his back pocket there. So just things continuing to hurt in the bot lane for Team ShadowFrost Fusion.
Yeah, also this is a Sivir dominating a Jinx pre 20 minutes. I mean, this is rough. This is hard for TSF. I think that they were kind of hoping that the Jinx Rel, it would be a fairly strong lane matchup, and they're just getting absolutely slammed upon. I don't love this play from Finis just because I don't think there's any way Arnie's going to push up that far without flash. And it does feel like Arnie kind of has recognition that if I walk up too far, I am dead. So this entire time finishes, I mean, just count 1, 2,
Yeah.
3. We're closing in on 15 seconds just sitting here. We're closing in on 20 seconds just sitting.
They
I mean, this is
Seems
not
like they
good.
must. They have to go for Ghost if they want to go for anyone. I mean, he does have the flash for Maokai, but all right.
They have to.
Wait.
They need to leave this brush. This is driving me insane. This is
Wait.
terrible now.
Okay, so they pop the Ghost. I mean, they must know he's there. I feel like based on that reaction.
Yes, I think they're just more concerned about the.
Or they know he could be there at the very least, because obviously they didn't have vision of it, but like it just seems like. So top lane though, Loveless is going to aggressively use that hook shot for now. Will be all right to do that. Should have the scaling advantage eventually in this matchup from Camille, but it's kind of similar to last game. We do hit that arc here around this level 6, especially where Ornn does have a lot of base damage in the kit. So for now, Loveless going to be keeping it safe, and we'll teleport back into the lane. Ooh, that Silver Q just doing so much damage, and that's just going to be potentially a dead Rel. Flash forward from Walterbot. Last auto attack will finish it. And Sivir just looking so strong, that Q just cutting through the Rel, even as that tanky support does not, I mean, not maybe as tanky as you would like to be in that situation.
Yeah, beautifully played right there. I will say, you know, as I want to talk a little bit, obviously, about how Walterbot's doing well, although now might not be the time. I will say, as I was talking earlier about how much time the Maokai was spending bot, it's not unfounded. I know my league a little bit. They are now down about 5 camps to the Ivern. So.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a pretty disastrous waiting there. But
I know he does not have flash, just waiting for that cage to expire. Oh, great root is going to prevent the satchel from being able to bounce it away, and the kill credit going over to Sushi Man. So 1 kill for that Vigar, and that is one of those pieces of the scaling here if you are Team ShadowFrost Fusion. But now the 1v1 in the top lane is Mr. Daislot is going to drop the ultimate. Nice job to dodge out on it here from Loveless by using the Hextech ultimatum. And now it looks like this 1v1 is going to be having the advantage. Hook shot forward for Mr. Daislot. Flashes away now. Oh. Both champions just so low, but it looks like Loveless, I mean really Mr. Daislot, I guess, going to be able to farm this one out. Loveless going to be able to stay and farm the rest of the wave. And Ornn will have to walk back up here. No junglers on this side, and it looks like they are aware. But now we're going to see a fight down here by this dragon. Flash away from VIP Emperor, going to keep himself safe for now, but it will be at the cost of the dragon going down on the other side, it would seem, at least for now. But now the rest of the members on the red side here, they are going to collapse, and it will be the Maokai dropping as the first kill of the fight. And now Walterbot, how long will this Sivir be able to survive? Is able to spell shield for now, but now Arnie is in the fight, and it's going to be a 4 versus 3. Dragon now becoming the focus for the Ivern, who will be able to secure it with the smite. So first dragon of the game going to Team ShadowFrost, and they are going to like the outcome of that fight. 100 gold that's separating both of these teams so far. Really close game here so far in game 2.
Yeah, it feels like this Vigar is at a fairly huge part of the way that they're winning these fights from now on. Just the baby cage, being able to put it down. And look, man, as somebody with a child also, I'm sure you'll know, once you put that baby cage down, that baby is not leaving. And does feel like that's kind of the mantra here for League of Legends as well. TSF just putting it down and letting the team kind of do the damage on the person who's trapped inside of it. And so keep an eye on this Vigar in these future fights, not only for the damage, but the CC as well. Alongside the Rel can be really, really good combination. And so that's kind of where they're getting their strength from. I will say Mr. Daislot really has impressed me on these tank picks, because did fantastic on Sion in the first game, is currently winning as an Ornn into a Camille, which you don't really see a lot. So very, very impressive stuff. Very 369-esque, if any LPL enjoyers are in the chat. Just pick me a tank, and late game I'll be an issue, and that's kind of where we're at. Is hold on, talk about that. Oh boy,
I know. is going to be stuck inside that baby cage, but now it's Sushi Man who's going to become the target, but is getting very close to being able to take the kill. 1v2, and he will be able to finish it off. Life traded back. Kill going to the Maokai. Wish you would have liked to get that one onto the Ziggs, but Sushi Man going to be very happy to take a 1-for-1 in that gank.
Yeah, beautifully played right there. It felt like had a really good opportunity, especially with the way that they were setting up. And, you know, we talk about that baby cage as well. Just really strong at being able to lock up any members necessary. And that is exactly what happened. So the Ziggs got locked up, and he got locked out of his own life right there.
True. Just like a young toddler baby stuck inside that baby cage. There's certain ability names that, or I mean, that's not really the name, obviously, but you know, dubbed the baby cage.
What is the name? Does anyone know?
It's the it's the something Horizon. Is it Event Horizon? Yeah, it's Event Horizon.
Very stupid. I don't like that.
But yeah, no, that's one of the things I like saying over and over again. I also actually coincidentally like saying Satchel. But up on the top side here, we are going to see the engage from the Ornn, and VIP Emperor is going to be in the 1v2. Doesn't look like Loveless is very interested in providing any backup at the moment, but now is going to come out. Does have the Hextech ultimatum and will utilize it, as VIP Emperor has not fallen so far in this fight, and Sushi Man has arrived, but now it's going to be a lot of damage coming through and dropping Loveless down. Sushi Man looking so tanky so far in this 1v2, but how long can Dynal survive, able to use the satchel to keep himself safe? And there we go. It will be the Vigar finished out in the end. Ooh, these are some scrappy fights.
Yeah. What a fight by Dynal right there. I mean, unbelievable. Hold on a second.
Looking for a steal also over here.
Yeah.
So 1v1 between these two tank junglers. Look at, actually, Maokai taking a lot of damage, but teleport is going to come through here. It looks like it is from the Ornn. Mr. Dizlot has arrived. That should shut down any possibility of the steal. And the Rift Herald will be taken by Renge Tea Time.
Yes, Renge Tea Time showing out. Really good work, Dynal, there with the fancy footwork. Had a good game on that Xerath in the last game and continues it here. And look, it's gonna get rough here soon. If we have a chance, I'll ask Wookie to pull up the gold differences right now between the champions. Yeah, I mean, look at the difference in the AD carry role. That is rough. That is pretty rough.
Early into the game.
Yeah, no, this Jinx is just very far behind. It's even in the mid lane. It's even in the top lane. You do have your Maokai behind because of those camps, but I don't think you're too worried about that. Hold on. Oh, jeez.
Man. I don't think either of them could see each other at that moment, potentially, but now it is going to be Krem who's going to be jumped on. 3 members are here, and the Rakan does have his flash to get away, and will be able to jump to his ally there with the battle dance, so going to be all right. But the flash is pretty big for Rakan for those engages. Sivir ult gonna be popped here, trying to look for that engage, but with the Nature's Grasp on cooldown, it's just gonna be a zoning on the hunt here. Ooh, there's already one. Ooh, just gonna be able to survive, but will be pushed out now. So with the dragon spawning at this moment, Renge Tea Time, they would like to even it up one to one, and with the enemy carry, AD carry pushed out of the fight for now, they will have the 1 member advantage.
Yeah, they got
down all their ultimates though.
Yeah, but the Rift Herald drops down 2 here, so if they don't get the dragon, they're at least able to get the tower. Honestly, here comes the teleport. Hold on.
Daisy though, looking thirsty here, and WalterBot going to be the target as Loveless has entered the fight. 2 kills for the Camille. Make it not 3, but making another one for Sushi Man, and a decisive victory in that team fight with a nice flanking teleport from Loveless. And that is what you love to see from a champion like Camille. Later in the game, she'll have that 1v1 presence, but for now, an amazing flanker when she can find those angles. Mr. Dizlot though might be able to find the 1v1 here. We'll be able to get the grass pop, but Arnie, ooh, flash forward, one more auto would do it. W is going to be up in just a second, so he'll have to try to, not going to be able to sidestep that one. Tried to maybe think he could get one more grass pock, but it will be the 1v1 kill for the Jinx. So Mr. Dizlot, I don't think he had to go for that 1v1, and Jinx, who has been, pretty much pushed out of this game, all of a sudden breathing a little bit of life there.
Yeah, I think the Ornn overpushed a little bit right there. Did not know where the Jinx was, and so thought that they could proxy a wave real quick before having to back. Obviously, going to lose their life for that one. These fights just been kind of crazy. Okay, Finny should.
Inidium, Finny is going to be in a rough spot here. On the Hunt is available for Sivir and is going to be dropped now, and now it is going to be also the ultimate drop from Maokai from some
just
carving him over. But now it is engaged because it's already a 2-for-0. The jungler able to survive through the whole thing, and Walterbot's got the fadeaway with the Sivir. 3-for-0. And the gold lead is going to be retaken by Renge Tea Time. They're going to expand it, I would imagine, by taking down this top lane turret. A nice bit of coordination there, turning what looked bad into something good. As Sushi Man is going to be able to trade one bad. Goodbye.
Yeah, this Sivir is just carving up the enemy team. Just doing so much damage. Is so far ahead of really anybody else. Most CS on the team, second most CS in the game. Is that the second most gold in the game behind this Veigar? And so that's kind of where the battle is going to be. It's going to be Sivir versus Veigar, I suppose. But Sivir's got that range advantage. Veigar's got the event horizon. So it's going to be an interesting one. Both of these champions are going to just push out so much damage. I will say I would rather have a Ziggs than a Jinx at this point. And so in terms of secondary damage, I do think RTT has that. But keep an eye on Loveless on this Camille. Game's shaping out to be very interesting right now, Elsa. These teams, again, back to being just neck and neck.
Yeah, I mean, I talked about Ziggs' wave clear, but talk about Sivir. I mean, and then on the other side, really Veigar and Jinx as well. So we got a lot of wave clear on both sides. So with so many late game carries here, especially for Team ShadowFrost Fusion, I would not be surprised to see them just try to stall things out, when they can, because the Sivir's looking strong now, but there's going to be a point in time where, sans a really, really good spell shield by Walterbot, Veigar is just going to be able to press that R button and say goodbye.
Yeah, that is the Veigar gamer button after all, right? Just press R and good things happen. So
if he can get, it's not a guarantee. He's got to get the right,
Yeah, it's true.
Right up.
But it'll be something to keep an eye on for sure. I think something else to keep an eye on is the scaling of both of these top laners. Mr. Dies a lot. Soon, very soon, we'll be able to give over his ornaments to all the little good boys and girls in the game. So keep an eye on that as well. Hold on, we have another fight going on between the top laners. This Maokai needs to come help.
Loveless thinks it's a 1v1, but it's actually a 1v2. I'm not actually sure if that matters, though, because the Hextech ultimatum is still available to be dropped. Can he find the gap close? Yes, and it's going to be the 1v2 kill. Inidium Finis not able to do anything, and now Maokai just dead meat against this Camille, who's going to do nothing but... I was going to say lifesteal off of him, but runs into the bush, and the saplings that actually do so much work. TSF Ghost now left alone, and it's going to be Renge Tea Time making me look silly. And Inidium Finis doing a great job of turning that one around in the bot lane.
Yeah, they find a beautiful fight right there. They're going to lose Rift Herald for it. But yeah, it's kind of crazy to see that Inidium Finis wins that one straight out. I think this is a terrible teleport. Luckily, so here's the thing. Walterbot took a tower shot right there. If Walterbot doesn't take a tower shot and they just set up waiting for that Veigar, I think that's a dead Veigar. Now, obviously, they don't have a tank to kind of tank up all of that damage, but between a Ziggs and a Sivir, you'd have to imagine they have enough damage to at least force the flash out of Sushi Man. So Sushi Man feeling a little lucky right now, kind of counting his lucky stars that he did not fall right there, but still able to survive, gets a teleport, saves the tower, and with the dragon in 5 seconds, that is where everybody's eyes are going to be at.
Yeah, dragon would be already putting Team ShadowFrost on soul point. Red side has been good about picking up these dragons early on so far in both games. But now we've got a little bit of a split fight here as Loveless is going to be on one side, but should be able to use that hook shot to get away. But actually it's going to be Krem finding the engage, but Loveless not going to go down in the initial part of the fight. How much can WalterBot get done as he is just kiting on the back line? You can see how much work is being done as Loveless going to go down. RD1 flashing into the wall, trying to get over to get the angle to get some damage onto the Sivir, but it's not going to happen, and instead it's WalterBot looking great from minute one of this game with a triple kill. Mr. Daislot flashing forward, takes down BIP Emperor. And Arnie1, you got to be careful, my friend, because you are not winning this 1v1 if Mr. Daislot is able to land any sort of knockup, and the dragon stack will be stopped. Same pattern as last game. 2 to the red side, 1 to the blue side, but we'll see if the rest of the game follows in that pattern, because right now Renge Tea Time sitting with just about a 1k gold lead, 1.5k, nothing huge, but just as far as the execution of these fights, Bonfire, it seems like they know what their team comp wants to do and they're making it happen.
Yeah, bye-bye mid turret. That's the Ziggs diff right there. Ghost can hang out, but there's nothing that they can do. This is the same issue that TSF has run into as in game one. Just cannot get onto the damage dealers. Sivir and the Ziggs just pushed out so much damage right there, and when WalterBot is just able to free hit, the rest of the fight is not going to go your way. Need to get onto this Sivir. It is a necessity that this Sivir dies, and with Sivir not dying yet, that's not really going to happen. 5-1 and 3 on the Sivir, 3-2 and 3 on the Ziggs, and so this composition that RTT has kind of found works for them is continuing to do so. 2 damage carries and a lot of tanky engage has just worked out perfectly in game one, and it's doing the same in game two. That's where their strength lies, it feels like. And they're going to continue to try to push the objectives right now. They do end up losing their mid turret just off of tempo. Had to get some backs in, pick up some money. So they lose their mid turret. The gold lead gets evened up just a little bit more, but it is still firmly in the hands of Rengar Tea Time. And hold on, they might lose their top turret here now too, although they are collapsing, and so Loveless, I think, has to be careful here.
He is certainly in an interesting spot, Bonfire, we'll say that. As a Midwesterner, you might know that that means bad, but he is going to be able to use the hookshot to get away for now. Krem will pick up that charm using the quickness, but not going to get a huge amount of value out of that. And meanwhile, the rest of the team here from Team ShadowFrost is going to be taking advantage. They're going to be trying to grab this mid lane turret, as AD carries love walking up and taking turret shots apparently in this game. And that's the beauty of Ziggs. Dynel going to make quick work of that minion wave, and nothing will be traded back on the other side. I think they had already taken that mid lane turret.
Yeah.
So a nice idea. I like the rotation, the attempted rotations there from Team ShadowFrost, but against Ziggs, it's really hard.
They're just kind of getting swung around the map. They all went top. Camille got out. They have to go all mid to stop the mid push. Camille comes back. They lose a tower after all. So RTT getting kind of dragged around the map right now. Yeah, and they end up losing all of their outers for it at this point, and so it is going to be even in the turret department. Both teams sporting a healthy 3 turrets taken. 1,000 gold lead separates both of these squads. As 2 minutes on the next dragon, Baron's up, and what is the wolf doing? All the way over in the wolf was trying to eat a chicken right there. It felt like that was kind of crazy.
That was interesting. Yeah, I mean, and I feel like here for if you are Team ShadowFrost, they didn't get anything off that play, but I do think it's kind of foreboding of what they need to do, which is use this Camille to pull pressure onto another side of the map and create a disadvantage. But Krem gonna be dropped really, really low, not going to go down though, able to flash away, and will not be available, also utilizing the flash. But I mean, still a minute and a half until this dragon, so nothing super closely pending. The Baron is available, but pick not quite able to come through. I don't know, but as I was saying, two items for Camille, so she can start to get to that point where she can really start to chunk the turrets. There's no question in my mind that she should be able to win this 1v1 if it is a true 1v1 between her and the Ornn. And yeah, so we'll see if and when they're able to play around some of this Camille split push. I think it's maybe around level 16 that she really starts to hit hard. Not quite there yet, but we're pretty close.
Oh yeah, no, this Camille is going to start to be a side lane issue, and we're going to start
259 stacks. By the way, I meant to.
Yeah, the scaling is definitely there for RTT or for TSF.
Additional AP. So
the scaling is definitely there. I think the biggest issue though is just this Sivir, and I think that's where we saw in the last team fight. But we haven't seen a team fight in quite a while, so who knows? Maybe with all the scaling, things have changed. Let's see that damage. Never mind. Good dodge from Finis. They are going to clear out some vision right now. Krem has to be so careful. It's just kind of walking around willy-nilly, especially with no flash, so kind of recognizes that. They don't have any vision control, and so this is where the issue is going to come across if you are the side of RTT. You just don't really know where the enemy team is, so they're going to have to play carefully around the map. They do know where Loveless is, as this teleport from Krem should get them in a pretty good position for a possible flank engage.
Yeah, the one fight that did go well for Team ShadowFrost Fusion in this game involved a nice flank from Camille. So can they do it again? She's going to come on the side as the Orin Horn will be dropped. They're not going to be able to reactivate it. And here comes Camille eventually. We're going to see the Hextech ultimatum. Maybe no, Walterbot is too busy becoming unstoppable, flashing forward, but now he will be shut down by Vigar. And now with the damage being more limited here, Dynel, the last one available, Hextech ultimatum will be able to trap him in. Will it be able to take him down? Yes, eventually the answer is yes. And now it is just a Maokai and an Ornn against the world. And it's going, and at the end of the day, I don't see it going well for the big boys, as Loveless and VIP Emperor taking their time, but they'll eventually get the ace. And I think they'll head over to the Baron alongside Sushi Man. Scaling, baby, finally coming into play.
Oh, they are back in this game, and then some. Walterbot is a problem, but once you take down that Sivir, the damage falls off a cliff for RTT. Look at the health bars, they're all so low, but when you don't have somebody to collect those payments, not a lot that you can do in this instance. And so TSF find their footing back in this game. They find an angle. They're back in this.
And we are going to go into a replay here to see how it all happened in that fight, because yeah, Walterbot did a lot of damage, but
yeah, Walterbot's dead here. Look at all of their health bars. This is great work from Dino flashing away. Krem does a fantastic job as well, and so they're pushing out a ton of damage, but it's just not enough, especially when Loveless is alive. It is just not enough, and that kind of is the story of these team fights. When Walterbot is not able to immediately kill any member, it just feels like that it can get to be rough pickings, and so end up losing the fight, end up losing the dragon, end up losing the Baron, end up losing the gold lead.
yeah, I mean,
now on the back foot.
yeah. And we did see that flank come through from Camille again. Loveless still does have the teleport because he was able to walk it down that time. And we can see just how important that was. You know, Walterbot flashing away before Camille got there, but it seemed like maybe even he felt forced to flash to that side of the fight because he knew inevitably that Camille was coming with that Hextech ultimatum. So, you know, and as you said, after that, Sivir's dead. Ziggs is just not the champion that's meant to put out damage in the heat of the fight. You know, he wants to sit back there and take his time prior to things starting. So this Baron siege will, I mean, I don't know, it looks like if there's one thing that Renge Tea Time definitely has, it's kind of that go button engage. So I think it looks like for now, Team ShadowFrost, they do want to be a little bit careful here as they siege these turrets with Baron.
Yeah, they're cognizant of losing a member and what that would mean for the rest of their push, and so they're doing it safely, they're doing it correctly. Has to be careful of a stun, but is not found, and with the event horizon down and the wave falling as well, they do not feel comfortable going in. Now they are going to get the bot turret thanks to Loveless, and so still a successful Baron push in some regards. They're still keeping an eye on those inhibitor turrets. They have all but one outer at this point before they start to get into inhib turret range. They're doing a good job of it, but again, they do need to be careful, especially when that event horizon is down. That is a fairly important tool, and so once it falls, it does feel like they start to back themselves up, play a lot more carefully, and recognize that they cannot just force the issue too much.
Yeah, I mean, there is Sivir Zig's wave clear. Sivir Zig, Sivir.
Sivir Zig, Zig Sivir.
Just wait. I mean, I'm trying to think of when it is that we got into this. I mean, definitely it was at the same time that Ziggs used to be very popular in like 2015. Sivir also very much up there for this reason, that wave clear. Just even if you take the L, you lose the Baron, you can just sit under these turrets and turtle into the base. Working so far for Renge Tea Time, they, because they're behind in this game, but they're 5k gold behind. That's, by far the most substantial disadvantage we've seen, but they're not totally out of it. And Sushi Man will have to flash away. Goes with a huge Magnet Storm to engage, but the ultimate coming through for the Jinx, not going to get very much done. And after that initial engage fails, it's Renge Tea Time feeling okay with the fact that they were able to just end this Baron push. That should be it as far as Baron goes in this round. Bot lane going to be shoved out by the Ziggs, and it's just the inner turrets taken down. No inhibitors dropped.
Oh, Loveless.
Yeah, he should be able to use the hook shot.
I would imagine so. There's no ultimate on the Ornn, so
saving it.
Yeah, it should be fine at this point. I was concerned they wouldn't recognize it until it was too late. So able to survive. I will say this dragon is being taken right now. This is Soul, and so
and it's Hex Tech. Yeah, I mean, which is hugely powerful here.
Uh-oh, Loveless.
Okay, Loveless is trying to keep the rest of the team busy because meanwhile, Iridium Finis is trying to get in. Will he be able to try to get a spite? It's going to reset at the least fortunate time, and it is going to be taken by the blue side, so no soul coming through. But look at these teleports back into the base because it's Vigar trying to end the game right now. One turret is going to be taken down, but it's at least Mr. Die's not going to get back into the base, so it shouldn't be the end yet, as Walterbot will get interrupted. But it looks like ultimately one more Boomerang Blade will be able to take him down.
Hold on.
Mr. Die's looking so low in this 1v1. Will anyone else be able to get back to the base? I don't think so. He's got so much AP. Oh no, Dynel is back.
Oh,
and they will be able to stop it. Arnie 1 should not be able to get this.
I don't think they get
kill.
this.
Nope. Definitely got to watch out now because that sapling will do a lot of damage coming out of the brush. But
yeah. Also, there's an open nexus. There's an open nexus, and so really good stop of the teleport. It was a double teleport by Mr. Diezelot and Dino, but Loveless was able to stop the teleport, and so it was only Mr. Diezelot, and was trying to not make up to their name and survive the damage from the Vigar, was eventually able to take them down. But again, open nexus. And so, yeah, you talk about turtling. They just have to be so careful because anybody can just walk in, especially Loveless. I mean, they're really pushed up at this point. If Loveless just wanted to walk up, they would be able to do so. Luckily, Loveless had just respawned, but it's starting to get a little nervous, especially because there's a teleport on this Vigar, and look at the ward in the bot jungle.
Yeah, okay, I was just going to say that right where Maokai is, so probably it would have been cleared anyways, but right where Maokai is, actually there was a pink ward. I believe it was Ghost's pink ward, and he actually moved it and I was looking at that ward because it was right next to that portal to teleport into the base, but no shenanigans like that so far. We know how often those backdoor things can actually end up being horrible, but look at this. This is going to be a really tricky Baron here, being taken the Jinx over the wall, able to hit it with the rockets. And yeah, you're right, Bonfires. Look at Loveless waiting, knowing that if they do come to contest, this Camille is just going to go straight into the base and end the game. So
yeah, this could be the game-ending push right now, by the way, with the Baron. It's great.
No more turrets,
but there's two inhibitors down. There's one inhibitor down. I take that back. There's an inhibitor down.
They want to push it up mid, so
this is going to be hard for RTT to stop. Because all they really need to do is find an angle where they're able to get across. Even if they don't end the game, you'd have to imagine they are at least able to get another inhibitor, maybe two. So it is dire straits for RTT. Sushi Man with a really good macro play that puts TSF at the edge of their game.
Yeah, and it looks like for now, Team ShadowFrost, they just need to be patient, allow these minion waves to push up. They have the scaling on their side. Their time has arrived. They just need to wait a little bit longer here. Get these minion waves into the base as the super minions in the mid wave. Nothing to stop them, so somebody's going to have to go answer, at which point you have to imagine the base will begin to break here. Sivir able to go over Mr. Daisalot. Whew. Taking a lot of damage even as a tank. And it looks like in the bot lane, they are able to push. RTT is able to push away the enemy team, but at the cost of their inhibitor turret. Or, sorry, on the top side, they're able to push them away at the cost of the inhibitor turret on the bot side. Whew.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that is going to be the end of the push for now, so it will not be the game-ending push yet.
They are doing a great job of keeping them at bay, all things considered. But it is so difficult for RTT because they get that bot inhibitor that is in open nexus for quite a while. And it's going to make things very, very difficult. They really, really need that an open or all of their inhibitors back to be able to push up at any point. With the dragon up in 45 seconds, that's Soul as well. Kind of need that. They kind of need to stop the Soul from TSF, but how do you do that? I just don't know how.
Oh, Krem not even going to be able to participate in the fight because he's already dead. Sushi Man using that ultimate, and Walterbot, you know, he was so powerful throughout this game, has done so much damage, but at this point, just so much scaling, so many advantages for the side of Team ShadowFrost Fusion. I mean, that, you know, you did make reference earlier, Bonfire, to the Ornn and these ornaments, and, you know, even with that in place, I mean, it's been enough, obviously, to stay in the game, but doesn't seem to be making the difference as far as the overall damage in these team fights. Loveless taking the inhibitor. Mid lane inhibitor going to be taken down yet again.
Just, I don't know how they're able to. Yep, here we go.
Mr. Daisalot wants to take the chance here as VIP Emperor going to flash over the wall. It should just be the trade of the Ornn ult for the flash there. So it is a positive trade for Renge tea time.
They're still going to lose the dragon. Loveless can just solo it, and they're going to, I mean, look at their top turret as well here. This is rough for RTT. They're just getting bled out of this game.
Yeah, they are. I mean, you know, they're really. Oh, Mr. Daisalot is going to be taken down. Engage not going to hit there from Krem. This Jinx, who was so pushed out of the game early on, found her way back in, found those places in the side lane to be able to get the farm, finding that 1v1 crucially against Mr. Daisalot. And, you know, all of these members from Team ShadowFrost Fusion have bided their time. They've been patient. I feel like I'm having deja vu. I said this exact same thing like 5 minutes ago. Sivir Ziggs. Zig Sivir.
I don't think it's enough. Also, I don't think it's enough.
I'm not saying it's enough. All I'm saying is that there's been a lot of waves cleared. A lot. Look at that. 348 minions from Sivir. Woo. Okay, Loveless, though, he's had enough. He wants to end the game, and Walterbot is going to be trapped in the Hextech ultimatum. It's going to take like 2 more Qs from the Camille to end it. The rest of the team is arriving, and that is going to be it. I think eventually we will go to game 3, and it's going to be a chance for Team ShadowFrost Fusion to come from behind after losing game 1. They're going to tie it up, and they're going to come back and try to seal the deal in the next game.
Team ShadowFrost Fusion not ready to call this one over yet, wanting to send it to a game 3, the decisive game 3. For both of these teams, it feels like the game 3 that might decide their season. A huge game 3 coming up, and Team ShadowFrost Fusion found the composition that works best for them. They went to Coachify. They figured out what they needed to do. They got their coaching tips. They ate their gummy worms. I'm just shouting out all of our sponsors. And they win their game, and now they send it to a decisive game 3.
Yep, game 3, and it looks like it will be back to the red side for Renge tea time. So back to where they found success in the first game. We'll see if they're able to replicate it or not. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we will be here for the conclusion of this series in the APL. Having a great time here. Hope you are too. We will see you when we come back for game 3. Hello, everybody, and we are back for the last champion select of this series between Team ShadowFrost Fusion and Renge Tea Time. I'm Elsa the Queen, and Bonfire is back with me as well to break this one down. We're flying through the picks and bans here, and it is going to look fairly similar to game one, except it looks like on the blue side it will be the Zerath and the MF switched out, two champions that we're no strangers to in this series.
Yeah, I think that both of those champions had their day in the sun, had their annoyance, but they have been banned out, and I think probably for the best. Both very difficult champions to deal with. We also are going to see that Ivern ban as well. I think was strong in some parts of the last game. Didn't really see the full potential of an Ivern, but still had its strength here and there. And then the Rel going to be picked up. Now the Braum tends to be the counter to the Rel pick. You see that quite a lot. You know, obviously the Rel wants to go in, wants to lock everybody up for the damage. Braum just able to throw a shield up and negate a lot of that. And so a pretty normal response, along with the Sejuani really prioritizing the slows and the stuns and the Freljordian might for the RTT squad.
Yeah, absolutely. It is true. We got a lot of, cold weather champions over there on Renge Tea Time. So far, they did have a lot of success with that Sejuani, obviously, when they won in game one. So they will pick that one up again, but thinking about that tankiness over on the other side, Team ShadowFrost, they got something to cut through it. It's the Trundle, and then also thinking about that Kaisa, which has fallen through the draft yet again, has been banned in the second round, but not going to let it get to that point. And that champion, very, very prioritized by a lot of teams across the world, will be locked in. We'll see what Renge Tea Time they want to lock in an 80 carry to answer here before the next set of bans.
Yeah, I think the Trundle was the pretty obvious pick right here. Just stealing resistances from the Braum and the Sejuani. How do you deal with that? You know, the Trundle's going to become so tanky. And then the Kai'Sa being picked up. Braum, Kog'Maw, a very strong bot lane duo. Needs some time to get going, but once they do, I think you really start to see the strength that the Braum Kog'Maw has in their back pocket, in their arsenal, just able to push a lot of damage across and get consistent stuns. Obviously, Kog'Maw just going to be firing at an unbelievable rate. And then the Kai'Sa, like you talked about, just one of the strongest champions in the game at the moment. Actually, a little surprised that we had to wait until game 3 to see Kai'Sa either pick or banned. Although I believe it was banned in the second game, but Kai'Sa is just so incredibly strong that I'm surprised he flew under the radar for so long. So I'm glad we're starting to see that Kai'Sa. Azir also banned out, a very strong mid laner right now. Anivia, an annoying mid laner. I don't know if it's super meta, but really annoying to go against and a good scaling option. The Camille, yeah, that makes sense. That Camille was an absolute problem once they picked up Ravenous Hydra in the side lanes last game, and we are waiting on the final ban to see.
Yeah, and for Renge tea time here, you know, Ziggs did not work out for them in the game 2, but so far, unless they take away the Ziggs here, it will not be banned. Also, those tanks, it looks like it will be the Nico maybe taken away instead. Those tanks, Sion was super effective in the first game. That could be a solid blind pick in the top lane as well. So we'll see which solo lane they feel more comfortable throwing out that blind pick for here. I mean, they did ban away the Camille, so they take away sort of that one of the split push threats available on the other side. So that would indicate to me that they might still want to go with the tank here.
I think that a tank would be a misplay. Poppy's a good enough of a hybrid that I think it's okay. I think you have enough innate tankiness with a Sejuani Braum, and you need some more engage / damage. And I think Poppy fulfills that role, just in the sense that it's Poppy, does annoying damage even as a tankier member. So I like the Poppy pick. Also very strong into a Rel, one of Rel's biggest counters, along with the Braum. So this Rel should have a really, tough time of it. I expect this Rel to really struggle getting good engages across. Now the counter is going to be the Gwen, the tank buster, as I like to call her, and that fulfills their AP need. And so now TSF really, they can go whatever they want in the mid lane here. They can go AD, they can go AP, they can go a whole host of different things. I'm going to throw something out there, and you could disagree. I would like to see a Galio.
All right. Definitely would be not something that we see a lot of, right now, but it will be a different melee mid laner, not necessarily in the same wheelhouse, but it's going to be Zed, blind pick here in the mid lane, locked in for Team ShadowFrost Fusion. So it will be Sushi Man laying it down. Had a lot of success on that Vigar. Again, very different identity, I guess, in the last game. So feeling it, gonna transfer the success to a different champion here with the Zed, and the answer will be Vex here from Renge tea time. So neither of these mid lane champions, are stock standard. It should be exciting to see, how these mid laners can utilize them in this game.
Yeah, it was between a Vex or a Lissandra for me. Really the two best assassin / hop on me counters. With the Lissandra, you can obviously root and then ult and keep them locked down. With Vex, you can immediately fear and get good poke off onto the Zed. So I think both of those champions are great pickups, and I'm happy with the Vex pick. And I think it's better than ego picking something into the Zed that would contest for just damage. I think you just need to hurdle up a little bit, go for something that's a little bit more safe, good on the counter. And I like the Vex pickup. So both of these squads fairly strong in a lot of different regards. TSF kind of going off of their normal strategy of RTT going off of their normal strategy. No, it was TSF who went tank top every single time. Or no, it was RTT.
No, it was RTT. Yeah, no. So they're sticking with they're sticking at it. It's still that same dichotomy: the split pusher versus the tank. We've seen one win sort of on both sides. I guess Rumble not as much of a split pusher, but Gwen gonna be back into that identity, and blind pick Zed always gonna be hype. And I think looking at it for me, what I see with that Zed being locked in is I think that Zed's job is just going to be to try to zero out that Kog'Maw in every single fight, because that's obviously going to be kind of that primary damage dealer for RTT, and Braum does a great job of keeping Kog'Maw safe, but not really quite as good against Zed if Zed can get behind them. Not really easy to, position that shield. So I'm going to be looking at, the Zeds versus Kog'Maw mini game, I guess, in this one.
Yeah, I think that'll be a really fun thing to watch out for. But there's really only one way to figure out if both of these drafts are going to work and who's going to take this pivotal game 3, and that is to go do the game 3 itself to see how they actually play on the Rift.
It's true. So we'll let the client draft run through. We don't think there's going to be any surprises either way. We are going to take a break and we'll be right back. Find out who will be the victor in this this series here. Will I be correct, or will Bonfire be correct, or more importantly, will Renge Tea Time take it, or will Team ShadowFrost Fusion take it? That's probably what more people care about, and we'll find out when we come back. So stick around and stay with us. We're back onto the rift for game number 3 between Renge Tea Time and Team ShadowFrost Fusion. It's our last chance in this series to see some level 1 action, and we do have a Braum in the game. The invade is going to be warded out, but we'll see if they continue in or not, and it looks like the answer for now probably going to be no. Sushi Man, though, going to make him pay for it on the way out.
Sushi Man gets a Q off. As we look at the runes, it is going to be the Electrocute for the Vex. I feel like a very strong item there. Lethal tempo for both AD carries. Nothing really crazy across the map. The biggest, most interesting thing is there is no flash on this Trundle. It is going to be a Ghost Trundle. Kind of an interesting change. Also Phase Rush. Also kind of interesting. So
definitely looking to chase people down, it seems like.
+1 in the CS department. Game over. Gwen wins. Yeah, I understand it. I get it. I think that if the Trundle is able to run at them, that's fantastic. And I don't think Flash is that huge on Trundle. It does mean, though, that if the Trundle gets picked off, there's not really a lot that they can do. So keep an eye on that as this game goes on. Also keep an eye on the mid lane. I have not seen a Zed played in a professional, or at least amateur game, in a very, very long time. So it should be interesting to see how they play this one out.
Yeah, it's all about the outplays, all about the execution. And as we start this game out, the bot lane from Team ShadowFrost, they did wait to kind of veil where VIP Emperor was starting. A little bit. He started leashless on the top side, and it looks like has proceeded to go into Sejuani's jungle and will be able to take away that red buff. So far, early on, it is going to be this more aggressive jungle pick. You've seen a lot of sort of these passive ganking junglers, but yeah, Trundle getting it done early on here. Potentially an early gank bot. We'll see.
Yeah, I was going to say good recognition from Finis, though. Going for a possible gank, knowing that the Trundle won't be there.
Dynal is going to be in a rough spot. No pillar available here, just level 2 from the Trundle. But one more Q should do it from the Zed, and it's going to be First Blood going into Sushi Man's pocket. And we want to know how this Zed is going to be able to function. And First Blood, 2.5 minutes into the game, going to be very helpful towards that.
Yeah,
and
beautiful work by the Trundle. Kind of surprising there wasn't an earlier flash from Dynal there. I think just concerned that the flash wouldn't really do anything, possibly going for an outplay, but no flash on the Trundle means that there was potentially not really a re-engage opportunity, but good play all in all from VIP Emperor and Sushi Man. Able to get them gold in the pocket of Trundle early, and that's pretty big. Might be a potential dive in the top side, but it does look like VIP Emperor just wants to clear away their own camps, recognizing that they've done enough of the stealing. And if I'm Finis right here, does not go for the steal, does mean that if once VIP Emperor goes for the full clear, should be ahead on camps.
all right. Well, in the 2v2 here, nice trade as concussive blows will proc on to Ghost, but they're going to be able to trade back a little bit here as well for the Kaisa. And Sushi Man did just throw out the W, so we'll be not able to have that dash, but spots out that gank pretty nicely. And looking forward for the rest of the game here, Kaisa is going for the lethal tempo, so it would anticipate either that Rage Blade or Quick Blade DPS build here. Nice engage, but Arnie pretty low, will not be. Ooh, nice Q gonna land by Krim on the back end of that. But anyways, makes a lot of sense for the DPS build here from Kaisa going up against the Sejuani, Poppy, Braum. You know, the poke really not going to be doing too much damage. So Mr. Dies a lot. Will he be able to live up to his name here? Ooh, he's gonna flash, and he does want to give it over as a solo kill, and will deny the or did he deny the? No, he's not able to deny the assist. Assist will still go over to VIP Emperor, so flash burn for Mr. Dieslot for nothing.
Yeah, no flash used for Loveless. Emperor just finding a lot of use out of this Trundle right now. And I gotta say, also, it doesn't really get easier. Emperor is just gonna get tankier. once they're able to subjugate the Sejuani or the Braum, take those resistances away. And so this Trundle will be a problem, doing a good job getting the lanes ahead. And so far, TSF doing a really good job with this early game.
Yeah.
Kind of a place that they had struggled with earlier on in the series, but they're doing a good job right now.
Yeah, I mean, and I think we saw in game 2 how top laners can be fighting it out, but we saw that we saw Team ShadowFrost doing a nice job of, yes, they fell behind in the early game, but they don't let everything fall apart. They're keeping their cool, knowing that they have that scaling, and while it's not the same, obviously Zed in the mid lane not going to be anything close to that Vygar's identity. They do have that Kai'Sa in the bot lane who will have that scaling advantage. So I mean, really both teams should be happy to scale. But it's just, as always, Bonfire kind of the other dynamic we have going on is eventually in the top lane here, this Gwen is going to be a split push menace. Not as much flanking potential as we saw from the Camille last game, but Gwen has her own huge strengths.
Yeah, Gwen is a huge tank buster as well. So going into a Sejuani and a Braum should find a lot of strength. I think also keep an eye on the build right now. Already 2 long swords and a Tiamat for Sushi Man, and that helps a lot with this wave clear. Just starting to push in now. Hold on.
The ultimate here, Needlework not finding it would be not really any angle, I don't think, for a dive here for Loveless, especially without being able to stack those. Oh, except he will be able to because VIP Emperor is here. A nice job. A nice gank here from the Trundle. Second gank into the top lane. Mr. dies a lot. Has in fact died a lot. 7 minutes in. Already 2 deaths for this Poppy. Not where he wants to be. Still just trying to stay relevant for the team fights, but has been abused so far.
Yeah, this has been a huge game for VIP Emperor so far. Just doing a fantastic job getting across the map, helping the lanes out, and this Gwen, someone that you tend to think of takes some time to kind of get going, is going right now. The engine is on, and so that is going to be concerning because dealing with a Gwen and a Zed and a Kai'Sa sounds like my own personal nightmare. And so hopefully RTT can find a way through that, because right now it is looking rough. It also doesn't help. Dino continuously gets pushed out of lane, opting instead to go with the Ignite. Means that every time they get out of lane, that is damage down on their tower. And more importantly, CS that they're losing, currently down 20.
Yeah. I mean, it is pretty significant. And remember that this Vex was picked up, as the choice into the Zed. But, as we know from that last game, or maybe, well, I don't know. I mean, as we, learn in general from League of Legends, it's not always just about how you do in lane. It's about, who can kill the Nexus, which involves a variety of other things like team fighting, etc. And, that's where we know Vex can kind of shine with those big engages coming through from the ultimate. As yeah,
Mr. dies a lot.
Yeah,
I don't think they're gonna die here. I think they actually survive.
Getting chased down in the long term here by the Trundle, but doesn't look. Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, Sushi Man was not coming to help because he was too busy trying to avoid that gank. So at the end of the day, Mr. dies a lot, lives another day, but Trundle, ring around the rosy. Not going to be able to make that happen, but will start off on this Rift Herald here. They know that they have control over that top lane with the Gwen shoving in. Iridium Fini on this side as well, but I think it should just be given over this time.
Yeah, I don't think that there's really anything that they can do to try to contest this. They're in a pretty unfortunate position right now, as is down in gold, and so they have to give this one up, especially with how strong this Gwen is. So that is another part of the map that is being taken off RTT. 2,000 gold lead for TSF right now, and Mr. Dicelot might be in trouble again.
Needlework coming through, and it's VIP Emperor once again here in the top lane. Poppy able to knock him out, but it doesn't matter because Gwen able to do it all by herself. Sejuani able to proc the passive here. Does not have the ultimate though, and in the 1v2 certainly would not be able to chase Loveless down any further. And Poppy 0-3-0 after the first two games. We gave so many props to Mr. Dizelot on these tank plays, but now into the bot lane the fighting will continue because Ghost is going to use the Magnet Storm to engage, and there is that Zed ultimate into the backline. It's going to be Cream the victim of that one, but now Sushi Man is going to go down and Walterbot's going to make it a 1-for-1. Ghost going to take a turret shot though, and now it's a double kill for this Kog'Maw who wants to get out of dodge. No. But Artie, what are you doing? Is he going to run under the turret, taking multiple shots? Walterbot with the triple kill. And it's Dogma online here, 10 minutes in. Signs of life for Renge Tea Time after it was looking very, very difficult for them. Their biggest win condition of the game just got a little bit more realistic.
Yeah, it looked like it was a 3v2, but realistically, that was a 3v3 because that tower was doing enough damage as a champion. It just kept running under tower. Rel took a lot of tower shots, falls, and then Arnie, inted. Not really any better way to put it right there.
Yeah, I mean, it's one thing if it was like one auto or something, like then you can at least understand he's like, oh, he just wants that one auto, but it's like, it was definitely more than one auto, so.
Yeah, and they get traded no matter what, even if you're already,
right,
you
that's
get
your
the
best
kill,
case. Yeah.
But the passive from Walterbot, I mean, the dead Kog'Maw is just going to blow up on you anyway, and so.
And the cavalry has alive. Arnie with a really nice sidestep, but I don't know that it's going to be enough as the concussive blows stack up. The Sejuani passive isn't even needed, and Ghost is going to be stunned up under the turret. He's a sitting duck there. Gonna get taken down. 2 more kills. One of them going to the Kog'Maw. 4-0-1 here for Walterbot. Looking at the gold, 1,800 ahead just in the 80 carry position. For this Kog'Maw, does have 1,200 just in his pocket right now as Dynal is going to get ulted by Zed. Won't be enough to take him down, but he's going to be have a hard time sticking in lane without some assistance.
Oh boy.
Whew. Mr. Dizelot under the turret once again. What can you do? The ultimate from Trundle Subjugate, not only taking away so much of that resist, but also making him just that more tanky. And they will drop the Rift Herald under the turret, and it seems like this will probably be the first turret going down in the top lane. So, both teams, both teams kind of, I guess, playing towards their strengths. It is a strong side top here, and credit where credit is due. VIP Emperor has done a nice job of, making sure that Loveless has a huge advantage as we enter sort of the mid stages of this game.
Yeah, this Gwen is an absolute nightmare to have to deal with, and I think the biggest issue as well is, I keep talking about how Gwen is a tank buster, but it's very true. I think the Kog'Maw, if they're able to space out on the Gwen, sure, maybe it's an even fight, but that front line for RTT should not be long for the world. That is going to be a problem as the game continues on, and this Poppy has been set way far behind. VIP Emperor done a fantastic job of playing to the top lane and ensuring that it is just not going to be a fair fight at any point in time.
Yeah, I mean, and I feel like if you're Gwen, in an ideal world, you're not built to take down a Kog'Maw, but I mean, I just don't even think you want to. I don't think you necessarily want to make the game about you being able to kill Kog'Maw. You just want to be on the other side of the map, because who will be able to answer this Gwen? As Ghost will get stunned from ultimate coming through, but you can tell right away call is going to be to back off there. They're not going to over chase onto the Rel for now. And I mean, top lane turret already down. We can see the switch of lanes trying to allow Arnie to pick up a little bit more solo XP in top lane, and Loveless feeling confident in the 1v2, but it will be a little bit more denied.
Yeah, I think it's a good switch right there, able to get Arnie back into this game, and it is kind of going to have to be essential that this Kai'Sa is at least a little bit of a problem, and so they are recognizing where their weakness is, trying to help out there. To your point about Loveless as well being a great side lane threat, I think also you got to think about Loveless not caring about the Kog'Maw, just throwing down the Gwen is immune and just going to town on a Sejuani or a Braum.
Yep, it's true. And this, we're going to see the Ghost will be popped for both Emperor and Walterbot, but Walterbot able to stay on the background for now. Not for long, though, as multiple flashes will come onto his head, and it's going to be the shutdown coming through from VIP Emperor. And now, where will the rest of the damage be, as Dynal was able to come in with a pretty nice ultimate, but Sushi Man taken down now with a double kill. It's Loveless v Dynal. And Arnie is here, shield coming through, but Poppy, oh, gonna miss the ultimate, but able to pick up the stun, should be able to trade back the kill into the Kai'Sa, but a nice flash by Arnie, keeping himself safe for now, and Mr. Dizebot knows he cannot continue to chase. So at the end of the day, it's looking nice there for the blue side. They don't have as big of a gold lead as they had quite earlier on, down to about 3K now from 5K as these top laners, they're not afraid to scrap it out.
Yeah, Loveless has to be careful. Oh, never mind. Loveless doesn't have to be careful. Just snip, snip, snip on the Poppy. I was concerned about a possible stun into a wall, but Loveless is a little too strong for that right now, as Ghost should be fine here. I think should be able to walk themselves away.
Oh, they are going to be able to proc the concussive blows, and yeah, I mean, Blade of the Rune King really just cutting through that rel. 4th death of the game there from Ghost, and I mean, I don't really think I can't even fault him too much. I mean, I feel like as a support, you're often kind of left out to try, trying to go get that vision in his own jungle, and just going to get caught out there. But
I will say, across the map, though, they are able to take the Rift Herald. Sushi Man is able to take quite a lot of this tower as well. This is an inner that they're able to get a lot of, and I think they're pretty okay. Although this is the
whole point.
Yeah, I was about to say, Dino might be in trouble here, though.
Oh, and Dino is going to lead the enemy jungler right to that dragon, which, I mean, it is just going to go down. So a potential soul is going to be on the table. It's Infernal Soul as well here for Renge tea time. So that is going to be a huge factor in this game as early as 4.5 minutes from now. Ultrabot
does not know about the Gwen.
Yeah.
And so
like
Gwen, this could be a potential be something there.
Yeah, Gwen would love to. Definitely, I mean, if she can get on top of Walterbot, should just be able to one-shot. But Krem is, you know, sitting in the wings, doesn't want to leave his AD carry all alone.
Oh, Walterbot.
Yeah, but now he knows. But okay, here we go. Ghost trying to look for potentially some kind of flank as Kai'Sa coming down. Just doesn't look like they're... Yeah, it looks like Kog'Maw is going to be able to stay safe for now. He does have the flash if things were to go awry.
Everyone feeling safe, feeling okay. An underrated part of Trundle, really good tank bus. Not only a good tank stealer, we'll say, as I call the Gwen the tank buster, really good at taking towers as well and split pushing. So kind of weird having your jungle on the split push, but when you have a Trundle just really strong in that regard, dropping the Rift Herald, just walking themselves away, has subjugate if they need it, does not end up having to use it as they opting into this fight. Rift Herald should grab it, and they want this fight right now.
Yeah, Trundle, he did drop the subjugate now, but is he overzealous? As he's going to be able to walk away for now, but going to be taken down by Mr. Dizebot. Eventually, that's a 1-for-0 so far. Kai'Sa has been in the backline this entire time hitting, but hasn't been able to get any kills as Mr. Dizebot still keeping himself alive. And now Arnie will be the only one left out of the original 3. It's going to be a double kill for Dynal. And the solo laners are split pushing in these side lanes, so it will be at least one kill traded, but it's one turret traded back, probably 2, but it is going to be 3 kills for Renge tea time, and they're going to bust open this mid lane turret. Maybe not actually, because Zed's coming too.
Yeah, it was a great play from RTT. Kind of a head scratcher why they opted into that fight. I understand that they had gotten somebody low, but you kill that one person, you still have to deal with everybody else. And so they opt into a fight that is a losing fight. Sushi Man also going to take a lot of damage right there. Holy moly. Yeah, this Kog'Maw, it hits like a truck. So if RTT are going to win this game, it's going to have to be through Walterbot once again.
Ghost, though, wants to find a fight right now. Zed is not available, so it's an interesting timing, but they will eventually be able to take down Walterbot, and it looks like blue health bars are looking healthy at the moment. Dynal not able to be there, so the other major carry from this team unable to make a difference in this fight. So despite the fact that Zed was not able to be there at first, was able to actually teleport in, And could they think about a Baron here? Because, you know, Trundle, he's good at taking turrets, he's good at taking Baron as well, objectives in general, especially with this Divine Sunder build. They will go onto this Baron with the 3 AD dealing members. Even Gwen, pretty decent at this as well.
Yeah, Kai'Sa just shreds this. Kai'Sa shreds this. Now, Mr. Dialot is here, and here's the thing. Dynal is also here. So be careful, because one Dynal
solo.
Huge. Yeah, that'll be it.
And it is going to be dropped. They're not going to be able to look for any fight off the backside. So right at 20 minutes, the Baron will be taken here. A nice job on the blue side. And now remember, 1 minute and 17 seconds is the potential Infernal Soul. So that will surely be the next fight here between these two teams, because this time it will not be given up so easily.
Yeah, Infernal Soul, the important dragon right here, and this is what RTT wants, right? They want to take these side laning threats and force them to fight. Although I will say, if that last fight goes anything like the fights that they want, not looking so good. The Kai'Sa getting back into this game, and then the Zed and especially the Gwen do a ton of damage, and so that really does need to be where their concerns lay. But they still have drafted a very, very good team fighting comp. They've got the Braum, they've got the Vex, and then most importantly, they've got the Kog'Maw. The 6, 2, and 4 Kog'Maw is just a problem, so they need to keep an eye on where this Kog is. We might have our first bout, our first 5v5 in a while. I'm excited to see this one hop out.
Trundle is sitting in this bush, and they are about to face check him, and Emperor is going to have Loveless in his back pocket as well. They want to get Walterbot, and they will be able to one-shot this Kog'Maw, but how long will they be able to survive? Because there's other members here, but Loveless will go golden. He's Loveless for now. Dynal's damage not going to be enough to finish it off at first, but now coming through for another round, but it does not matter because Mr. Dizelot is a tank who can't do enough. Sushi Man is here as well, and it's gonna be all Team ShadowFrost Fusion 5-4-0. Looks like there's maybe a little bit of waffling about. They're not sure what they want to do with this very decisive fight win. For sure take the dragon and deny that soul, but beyond that, they are waiting for minions here in the mid lane. Sushi Man going to take a couple of shots, so they're not of course able to end now, but they are busting things wide open. It's an 11,000 gold lead. They don't have to worry, at least, you know, right now in this moment, about that Infernal Soul. And things are looking good if you're Team ShadowFrost Fusion.
Yeah, Loveless is unkillable, so do with that what you will. This Gwen just doesn't take damage. 12,000 gold. 12,000 gold. Just double the gold of their lane counterpart. That is a lot of money. This Gwen, I mean, this is kind of unheard of in an amateur game or a professional game of League of Legends. You just don't see one person get this far ahead that often. 11-0-5. That is now 3 full items completed before most members even have 2. I mean, this Gwen is a absolute problem. I would build a seal at this point. I mean, why not, right? You get even stronger when you don't die. It's just this Gwen, man. I do not know how you're going to be able to kill this Gwen. And you saw it right there. That is 5 members wailing on the Gwen, and still was able to survive. Not even close. So it is a little concerning for RTT when your strongest member, aka Walterbot, cannot really do a lot into the counterpart, and I don't think this is a fight that Sushi Man wants.
Yeah, Mr. Dizelot, he does have quite a bit of armor, but we can see how much the Zed is able to do, and we can also get a nice little sneak peek at why Dustblade is, in my opinion, an item that needs to be changed. But back into what's happening in the game, the mid lane turret will be taken down. Walterbot, the name of the game is, you know, what can Kog'Maw do, I guess, here. He does not have flash quite up again, and he didn't have it in that last fight either. So that is something to track, just as you know, really, really important cooldown here. VIP Emperor, though, you know, with that Ghost, one of the advantages is it's up for pretty much every single fight, so you can really reliably know that this Trundle will be able to run into that back line, pillar onto that Kog'Maw, and make his life hard. But ooh, shut down there. Sushi Man overstaying. And so all of a sudden it will be a 4v5 as the top lane inhibitor is going to get dropped. Is there anything that Renge Tea Time can make happen here? They're trapped in their base. Arnie is going to get tagged and they're going to go into the back line, going to be able to use the killer instinct to keep himself alive for now, but Trundle does look like he's in a bit of trouble really fast though, and they won't be able to finish procking this Sejuani Facet. Walterbot, why would you flash forward just to try to get that kill? And now he's not going to have that available. Really try not to react in that way, but that is just a really feels bad flash forward.
That is a huge summoner down. I mean, that is a massive summoner down. For again, I'm glad you brought it up.
Trundle just pinged it too. Yeah.
What is the best case scenario in that instance? Yay, we killed the Trundle. There's no objectives to take. Maybe we get some tempo across the map, but I'm with you, man. Even if you kill the Trundle, you still lose the flash, and it really does feel like Walterbot has had an issue of staying alive in these team fights, and so that's not going to get any easier, especially with flash down.
Yeah, certainly not. And it's not like his positioning has been bad or something. It's just your Kog'Maw, and you've got, the enemy team certainly knows he's got a target on his back. They know where they want to place their damage. And now, in about 10 seconds, we will have the Baron spawning. 1 minute, and then the Infernal coming up. But now that the control of the map has been ceded so heavily over to Team ShadowFrost, it's not so much of an issue with that dragon. And for now, the Baron's going to be started up. We'll see if they can even try to come for a steal. I think it's going to be gone.
Yeah, Kog'Maw doesn't have flash, so you can't really take a fight. Gwen's also just taking your entire bot side. They want to try to collapse on this Gwen. I don't think there's a world where Loveless ever dies. Indeed, there's not. He just walks himself away. I mean, it is just starting to snowball out of control for RTT. There's not a lot that they can do in these fights. 30 seconds until the next dragon. I don't even think they're going to try to contest this, to be honest. I think that they just have to get waves and, keep their base alive, because, again, the split push of this Zed. Oh, hold on.
All right, VIP Emperor. He just does not take damage. Dropping the subjugate on that Sejuani, probably when she had her passive up for massive effect. 3-level advantage just in this jungle matchup for the Trundle. And now they are going to be pushed under their turret. Huge damage here onto the backline from Sushi Man. And now the engage comes through. Zed going to the backline. Look at the burst. And it's going to be Walterbot down. Everybody down. Double kill for Gwen. Ace from Arnie finishing it out. And at the end of the day, it is going to be Team ShadowFrost Fusion taking the Nexus and taking down the series in 3 games, and they will retain their position as one of the top 8 teams who will qualify for playoffs, at least for now.
Yeah, really clean win right there. There's not a lot to say other than fantastic work. It felt like the Trundle was just unkillable at so many points. And then even when you were able to get onto the Trundle, you had to deal with so many other parts of the game. Really great early game transitioned into a mid game. And even though they gave a lot of kills over to the Kog'Maw, recognizing that they could still win without having to throw all of their resources at the Kog'Maw. Great flank angles. It's just a really well executed game. So TSF showing a little bit that they might be better than what their record shows. And they, like you said, make their way back into the playoff picture and start to gain a little bit of momentum, get their morale a little bit up, back in the win column. Win streaks start like this. Start with a win and hopefully transition it into another one. As for the side of RTT, feels really tough, especially getting reverse swept like that. And that last game just wasn't close at all. Game 2 was in their grasp. They weren't able to close it out. And so they have to go back to the drawing board and figure out how in the hell are they going to get back into this miracle run of playoffs.
Yeah, that'll be the puzzle. And we'll just have to wait next week. We won't see either of these teams, but we will be back on next week for more exciting platinum action. That's going to be all for us today, but make sure you come back tomorrow. We got ACL going on. We got AGL going on also on Fridays. But for now, I'm Elsa the Queen. I've been joined here by Bonfire. And of course, as always, shout out to Wookie on the production. We really appreciate you. Thank you everyone so much for stopping by to the stream, and congratulations, thank you so much to both teams. Congratulations, I guess to both teams if you want congratulations, but especially to Team ShadowFrost Fusion for the victory. And that will be all. Good night.